says quarterback Cam Newton will start Sunday's game against Washington. It'll be Newton's first start since rejoining the Panthers, and he'll face his old Carolina coach, Ron Rivera. Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield will start Sunday against the Lions. He's been dealing with right knee, along with left foot and shoulder injuries. ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr.
Playing through what he has shows how tough he is, and he hasn't had, obviously, the players around him. You think about that offensive line that Bill Callahan's tried to piece together because of the injuries there. Guys playing that normally wouldn't or shouldn't be. The injuries to the running backs, the receiver situation.
Browns running back Nick Chubb comes off the COVID-19 list today. That means he should be able to play. He missed last week's game against the Patriots after testing positive. The Warriors are playing on the second night of a back-to-back tonight against the Pistons. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, and Otto Porter Jr. will all be out. The Warriors have the NBA's best record at 13-2. We've got an NBA doubleheader on ESPN tipping off at 7:30 Eastern. Celtics and Lakers in Boston, followed by the Suns and Mavericks in Phoenix. NASCAR will resume holding practice and qualifying sessions for all three of its national series next year.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into Extreme Wing Sports Grill here on Roosevelt Boulevard. We are here on another Friday, a couple Fridays a month. That's when we come by here on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax. So come on out. We'll be here until 6 o'clock and say hello. Busy weekend coming up. The TV screens will be filled with football, no doubt about it. And, the restaurants will be as well. 4 different locations for Extreme Wing Sports Grill right here on Roosevelt Boulevard, Ocean Way, of course, Kernan and Atlantic, and in St. Johns County off 210. We're going to talk about a lot of that football. Do a little something different in the 5 o'clock hour. Football at 5 is going to feature Kevin Sullivan, our Hall of Fame coach. It's the last night of the Blitz Scoreboard Show tonight at 9 o'clock, and we've got week 2 of the playoffs in Northeast Florida, so it's a big high school football night. And one of the things we started this year is Committed to the Uncommitted. And Casey's been working on it. Coach has been working on it. I've been working on it. We're going to take you through the dozen kids or so that we highlighted each and every Friday. And Committed to the Uncommitted presented by Baker Sports. And in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll give you updates on what those kids are doing and what kind of seasons they had. So that and a little bit more high school football talk coming up. So that's at 5 o'clock. We have our picks on the way at 4:30. And plenty to get to in between all of that, including a lot of football. The New England Patriots looking very good last night. Austin Lane not here once again today. He's in Houston. He's getting ready for his big fight Sunday. That will take place in Houston against Juan Adams. It's a big one for Austin, so a lot of positive thoughts with him, and hopefully he gets it done in the cage on Sunday evening in Houston. Follow us along on social media and on the TV side on Sunday. We'll hopefully be able to show you a little bit of that and show you a W on his way back to the UFC, we hope, for Austin Lane. That's a big, big fight for him. Weigh-in is tomorrow. He doesn't have to worry about that, though. It's heavyweight division, so the weigh-in should be just fine. But he will be outweighed in this fight coming up once again, and he's experienced that a couple different times with mixed success in his fighting career. Brent Martineau here. Casey Kurtz back in the Action Sports Jax studios. You know what I find it very hard to do is break down an Austin Lane fight.
Yeah.
One reason is because, well, quite frankly, I don't know that much about MMA.
Well, yes.
I've learned a lot, but I don't know that much. And so from a technical standpoint, an expert standpoint, I'm not your guy, most likely. But number two is, I really got to be careful what I say and how I say it. And, we only want one outcome here. So I don't even like to speak anything negatively into existence. I'm a positive guy by nature anyway, but especially in this situation. So I find it hard to break down the fight.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. And the way I see it is I only want it to go one way as well, and I don't care if he's outweighed. He's going to win the thing. You know what I'm saying? You can be a little more journalistic. I'm the producer, so I'm going to say what it is. He's going to win the fight. I'm excited to see it, but it is still a big fight for him, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. So we'll talk a little bit more about it as we go. Is he going to he's not joining us for picks, right? Did he just send you the picks?
I don't have the picks yet, but I did send him the game, so I'm sure he's probably putting that into the algorithm and figuring out the answers right now.
Yeah, maybe I'll reach out to him, see if he wants to jump on with the pick segment. Although that might be tough because we can't have two.
Yeah, that's actually not a thing.
So maybe we'll just jump in and have him join us a little bit later on anyway. We'll figure it out one way or another. Or maybe we'll just let him be and get focused.
Maybe we let him be.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Anyway, in the meantime, you got Brent and Casey and a lot of it. How about the New England Patriots? I didn't realize this until Ty texted me today from school. I don't know which class, but he texted me and he's like, hey, did you, because he shared the 3-hour, 28-minute partial eclipse that I shared yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, Ty, I did that yesterday on the show. Thanks for listening. And then he's like, yeah, but they won 25-0. And I was like, I didn't even think about that part.
Oh, wow, that's a good call.
Isn't that crazy? At the end who wins 25-0? Like, was that a scoregami?
I haven't seen that it was, but 25 is a weird number for sure.
Seriously, 25 it's beyond a weird number.
Yeah,
I don't remember the last time somebody had 25 points. I guess I've seen 28, 25. I remember over the years, but 25 and then nothing.
I bet we had I don't know what this would fall into other than weird stat, but back-to-back passes picked off by different quarterbacks on the same team.
Well, not only that, but 3 different players were picked off in that game.
That's right.
And I think they said there were only 2 other times that I think that's happened.
That seems surprising.
The last time, what did they say? Who was it? The Chargers. Not the last time, but the Chargers it happened to. Back when Ryan Leaf played.
Oh, okay.
And who was the other one? Moses Moreno played in that game.
Wow.
Yeah. And somebody else, I forget who started the game and got hurt. And then it happened 10 years ago, I think, against the Jags for the Houston Texans.
Wow. That just seems like a thing that wouldn't happen. But I guess I'm wrong. I wasn't listening close enough to the broadcast. But it's a weird thing just in general. The score, the game, the whole thing was weird, Brent. And they didn't go over, so that was weird. Well, actually, it wasn't, but I just...
And Atlanta didn't win, so I was way wrong on that.
Yeah.
Atlanta was disgusting to watch. There are some games over the years where the Jags have been disgusting to watch. It's one thing to be bad, and then it's one thing to be gross. And there seriously have been those games. And that was that game if you're a Falcons fan. It was starting to make me angry on social media, and I don't care about Atlanta at all.
Yeah, you were tweeting. I saw your tweets.
Yeah, but it was just ridiculous. When football looks, by the way, the Patriots looked the Jags looked like this in the first 2 drives against Indianapolis. The Jets in Indianapolis looked like this the way they ran the ball. When the NFL looks like a varsity team's playing a freshman team or a JV team, that's not the way the league is designed. And the Patriots are okay, but they're not the best defense that's ever existed. And the Atlanta Falcons got absolutely bullied around and pushed around last night. It was gross to watch. And I know everybody's like, yeah, Matt Ryan has no time. I get it. He also actually made a couple of nice throws. But the play that I couldn't believe, you have to know going to the line of scrimmage, 1, your offensive line stinks. And 2, it's 3rd and 1. You can't take a sack there.
Yeah.
I don't care how fast they got to you. You've been playing in the league for 15 years, and you can't escape an ant because you're so slow. And you took a sack. It was awful sack by Matt Ryan. Again, the offensive line wasn't good, but it was an awful sack, and it led to them really being shut out because eventually they hit the field goal, then missed the field goal after a penalty. That was supposed to be 4th and 1 from the 15 and turned into a 50-yard field goal that they missed, and Matt Ryan was a big reason why.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate if you're Atlanta because their kicker has been solid. He's been the only solid part of their team for the last 3 years, and of course he misses in prime time, so I guess that is what it is. But
yeah, he's been very good.
Yeah.
By the way, Stuart Weber giving us some historical lessons.
Oh.
Between 0 and 60, the only shutouts that haven't happened are 4-0, 46-0, and 50-0.
4 would be tough.
4 would be really hard.
That would be something.
So 5 happened?
It seems unlikely, but field goal safety, I could see it, I'm more confused on 7.
I'm more concerned. Oh, come on, 7 can happen. mean, listen, if you go way back, I mean, people didn't score. You go to a crazy, let's just say, a weather game, I could see that. Like, you got to go to the prime numbers, okay? Like 5, 11. How did that happen? Like 5 and 11 happened?
11. I don't know. By the way, when I said 7 just now, it just now clicked to me that that's a touchdown and extra point. I was thinking field goal, 2 safeties.
I tried to rescue there.
You did.
Crazy
that
there.
was horrible. Yeah. 11 could happen. It's a 2 and a 3, like a touchdown.
Well, I know it's kind of like, yeah, it could happen in a bunch of different ways. But listen, Weber's texting me. He's texting me scoregami. I don't want to look it up. That's what Weber's there for right now.
That's good.
11. By the way, 11 times a score is finished 25-0. 11.
Really?
11. That is an odd score.
Yeah, that doesn't. I mean, I believe him. Don't get me wrong. Just seems weird.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's right there. Scoregami doesn't lie, apparently, because who the hell else would look that stuff up?
That is a good point.
Like, I always love those things. Like, let's just say Tom Brady has 52,316 passing yards, and this is even a good example because you could look that one up by just adding up, get a calculator out and add up his stats and make sure it's right. But my point being is, like, is anybody going to argue with that? Like, who's going back to recount it?
Yeah, probably nobody.
Like, do you think he really threw for 52,379 yards? And by the way, I'm totally making that number up. Or do you think, like, maybe there was a box score wrong, like in 2007 in September in week 3?
I mean, it's definitely an option for sure.
Like, I always love those things. Like, scoregami's like that. Like, who really is taking the time to go do it? Like, Elias Sports Bureau, has anybody ever said, no, you're wrong to them? Because nobody else is looking them up.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like you can do no wrong. If you're wrong, no one's going to call you out on it. And if you're not right, but people don't know you're wrong, you look like a hero for looking up all this crazy stuff and having all these answers. So the stat game is an interesting game to be in.
I love the stat game, too. I said that while we're on this goofy topic of whatever, bothers us, I did tweet this last night, and this really gets to me. If there's 20 seconds to go on the play clock, and there's 2:08 to go on the game clock, and you're in the second quarter or the fourth quarter, and you haven't broken the huddle, why do you go to the line to line up? Like, you're never getting the snap off.
Yeah.
Like, are you really that, like, not in tune as a quarterback or an offense to the clock and the time and score of the game? I see this like 3 times a game, I feel like, between the quarter breaks and I'm like, why would you make the 330-pound lineman even get in his stance?
It's a good call. Yeah.
That would bug the hell out of me if I was a right guard.
Especially if you're at, like, home, when you should be able to know where the clock – like, not that maybe that's the issue, but at home you should never – I feel like if you're at home, you should never have a problem with the clock because you know exactly where it is, if that makes sense. Like the play clock.
Yeah.
You should be able to look at it right away. On the road, yeah, I mean, it's still bad, but, I mean, there's at least an excuse there. But if you're at home, you need to know where the play clock is. By the way, since we're on stats, J.C. Jackson is something else. 23 interceptions in 56 games in his career.
He's really good.
It's nuts.
He's really good. And I think he's a Florida guy, right? He played at Florida. And they might have, like, kicked him out, or he changed schools?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I have that story right?
You do have that story right, yeah.
And so I think he was a little bit one of those guys that was like, hey, might not want to take a risk on him. I believe.
No, you're right. You're right.
And so the Patriots find him, and he's a ball-hawking guy. I mean, I don't know if he's shut down all the time. He's obviously developed into a very good player. There's a difference sometimes between shut-down guys like – Jalen Ramsey's never going to lead the league in interceptions because he'll never throw it his way enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there are ball-hawking guys where, listen, Trevon Diggs is getting a lot of chances at interceptions because he was terrible last year. And so people throw the ball his way, and, well, now he's making plays on the football. Now, J.C. Jackson's a little bit of a combination of both now that he's had a nice long career and been productive. He seems ball-hawking, able to get the picks. They land in his lap. He goes and gets them, whatever it might be, just has that knack for it. And he's also very good. Like, you look at the numbers, the breakdowns, if you want to Pro Football Focus or the completion percentage against him, like, he's really good, like, every year, every week now. So What was kind of amazing to me is the guy that's been getting a lot of love from the Falcons is A.J. Tyrell.
Yeah.
And Tyrell, right? Tyrell?
Yep.
Tyrell. And out of Clemson. And his numbers have been excellent all year. Like, I think somebody said nobody's even had 30 yards receiving against him all season in a game. And he finally got his first pick last night. Like, he hadn't even had an interception yet. Usually you're that good. You're usually getting a pick or something.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty wild. So
that is interesting. J.C. Jackson, by the way, I love this part of Football Reference. If you you can compare their careers to like other players, and they kind of give you like a comparison that you would want to pick. His right now is Rod Woodson.
Wow.
So
that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, Rod Woodson, by the way, in his career, he averaged 0.3 interceptions per game he played. Right now, J.C. Jackson is 0.4.
What is J.C. Jackson? Where was he drafted?
That's a good question. I'll pull that up.
I see all these corners playing well, and C.J. Henderson, 9th overall. Like, what are the Jags doing? C.J. Henderson, 9th overall. I mean, A.J. Tyrell was in that draft, right? He was drafted late 20s or something.
He was undrafted, Brent.
Who?
J.C. Jackson.
Oh, I thought you meant Tyrell. I was like, man. J.C. Jackson was undrafted.
Yeah.
He's undrafted and being compared to Rod Woodson.
Yeah, what a world. A.J. Tyrell was drafted 16th.
Yeah, okay. So they spent – okay. Was that the same draft as C.J. that was last year?
Yeah, 20.
Okay. So, all right, if you're going to draft a guy at 9 overall, how about A.J. Tyrell instead of C.J. Henderson?
Yeah. And I think –
or trade back to like 13 or 14 and go get A.J. Tyrell. Like, what are we doing? And by the way, the Falcons' defense stinks, and that guy's still playing well.
Yeah, and I didn't even know he was playing well, by the way. I think that when they drafted him, Atlanta, it was kind of like a what are you doing type thing, kind of like when C.J. Henderson was drafted, I guess. Nationally, I would say. But I guess it worked out for one team, just not this one.
Yeah, I think you never know. You know, it brings me I thought of C.J. Henderson this week because when I was down Jags headquarters and Urban Meyer was talking about Tyson Campbell. And do you remember? You go through a lot of the sound, so you remember. We probably played it Wednesday, but Tyson Campbell, and asked if he was playing better, all that stuff. Urban was like, he's got his swag back.
Yeah,
like he's walking in the. I like the way he's walking down the halls in the building. You know, he's like, you want your corners to be that guy. Like you want them to be dogs.
Right.
I don't like it. You don't want the shy corner.
That's
well,
true.
Guess what they had? They had C.J. Henderson, who really was the shy corner. And by the way, there's a lot going on with C.J., and so that shyness could be for a variety of reasons. But you get my point. Like, I don't think he was this, like, mega, dog kind of guy even at Florida. Like, they couldn't judge that. If that's what you want in your corner, you want Jalen Ramsey more than you want this guy that's just going to play.
Absolutely.
Out of that position.
Yeah.
Now, listen, the Jags have actually had some success with that guy before. You know who was like that? Is A.J. Boye.
That's a good call.
He was a quiet guy. Like, he was not your typical corner. But he also didn't have staying power of being elite.
Yeah.
He had a really good year and a couple of good years and made a lot of money because of it. But, I mean, A.J. is still playing in the league, right? But nobody talks about him.
Yeah, no, that's a good comparison, actually, because even when I think the Jags signed him, I think a lot of people were like they knew who he was, but not really sure why. And it's because he's just solid. But, yeah, he wasn't in 2017 and, onward, he wasn't the guy that was talking. That was Jalen's job, and he was just kind of on the other side making plays. So, yeah, I think that's a very fair comparison.
I think it's interesting. Like, I've interviewed Tyson Campbell, I think only one time. And it's funny, when you interview him, I don't get the sense that he's like Jalen Ramsey kind of swag. I think he is a little bit more like Shaq Griffin kind of mentality. Has a chance to play with a lot of confidence, chest puffed out, shoulders high, knows he's got superb athleticism. The problem with Tyson is he just hadn't played that well.
No.
And so you can't walk around the building. So I know exactly what Urban was talking about in terms of walking around the building with that confidence. And that's when Urban also said, hey, you can't be – false confidence is the only thing worse than bad confidence. And it'll be interesting to see how, like, a guy like Tyson matures, grows as he plays better football. And if we see a little bit more of that dog, if you will, come out of him from a visual standpoint. Like, we don't know these guys, but sometimes you can tell it coming out on the TV.
Yeah.
And we have not seen that yet from CJ. Heck, I even remember the touchdown run in Cincinnati game for Trevor.
Yeah.
And everybody reacted to the way he responded to that touchdown as like, that guy's got some dog in him.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He's got some swag in him from the quarterback position. And, like I'm saying, we haven't seen that yet from Tyson. We don't know that just because he really hadn't made a big play. I mean, he played better the other day, but hadn't made that kind of play. So when he makes that kind of play, I'll be interested to see if he comes with a little bit of that as he gets more confidence, gets more mature in the league, and gets settled in the league. But I get what Urban's saying. You want your corner to be doing that. You don't really want your corner being the shy guy, not fist bumping, not jumping up and down, not talking trash.
Yeah, we need some emotion. Just something. Give us something.
Yeah. And I'm a little surprised that might not even – that alone didn't red flag the Jags on a guy like C.J. Henderson. But Jags missed big in that one back in 2020, and there are a lot of different ways they could have gone, obviously. All right, we got to get to break. We're at Extreme Wing Sports Grill, Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks, coming out. Be here until 6 o'clock. The Patriots are something. Mac Jones with another good performance. So I want to talk a little bit about the Patriots, and especially what they did this offseason in relation to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's coming up next on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy today. Temperatures top out midday around 70 before falling through the 60s this afternoon as it turns breezy and cooler. Partly cloudy tonight, low to mid-50s, and a partly cloudy, rather windy and cool Saturday. A brief sprinkle or light shower, but mostly dry, temperatures topping out in the 60s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now you can save up to 41% off during Beard's anniversary sale.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-530-9353. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-530-9353. That's 800-530-9353. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Florida Forum Speaker Series, brought to you by the Women's Board of Wolfson Children's Hospital, is underway. Don't miss Major General Charles F. Bolden Jr., a retired Marine officer, astronaut, and former NASA administrator, on November 17th, and four-time Super Bowl champion and broadcaster Terry Bradshaw on January 20th, 2022. The series takes place at the Times Union Center for the Performing Arts. Get your tickets today at thefloridaforum.com. The Florida Forum has contributed more than $9.2 million to Wolfson Children's Hospital of Jacksonville.
Quitting tobacco isn't easy. In all honesty, it's a very hard thing to do. The good news is, Tobacco-Free Florida is here to help you quit your way. When you call Tobacco-Free Florida's phone quit service at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW, you'll connect to a quit coach who will help you assess your addiction. You may also qualify for free nicotine patches or gum. So call us at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW to double your chances of success. No judgments, just help.
Hey, you were supposed to be here 10 minutes ago.
Boss, I'm a little freaked out right now.
What's wrong?
It's Safe Touch Security and their video monitoring systems. They're popping up everywhere.
Oh, for a minute you had me worried.
Boss, my next door neighbor's got Safe Touch video monitoring, the place across the street's got it, and now I notice there's one next door to the one across the street.
Keep it together now.
Boss, I'm surrounded. It's never been more dangerous to be a crook.
Whoa, easy. Look, you're not planning to break into your neighbor's house, are you?
Well, no.
Problem solved. Don't steal their TV and everything will be fine.
Okay. Yeah, that makes me feel better.
Oh, good. But when we're working, we still gotta stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah.
Now get over here. We got work to do.
Now, for a limited time, the Safe Touch Advantage plan includes free equipment and installation for new customers with an Advantage monitoring agreement. The Safe Touch doorbell camera, a $200 value, can be added for just $99. Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
For the ones who get going when the going gets tough, and the ones who know we're tougher together. For the Pathfinders breaking new ground, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you, so you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
All been around a long time, and that is real. How do you get confidence? Everybody around you. Let's no more drops, no more penalties. Be a little more accurate. Take care of them. Don't let him get hit. That's the only. There's no secret T-shirt we can give them or wristband or something like that. That's the only way to do it.
That is Urban Meyer. They got to catch the football, and I think right now, listen, Trevor's got to play better. There's a lot of conversation this week, trying to dig in on that a little bit more, a lot of varying opinions of, okay, what's the problem? I think a lot of opinions inside the building that the offensive line is not as big a problem as people are trying to make it out to be. I do think, and you're going to take a lot to get me off this, Trevor, I think, saves them a bunch too. And quarterbacks save offensive lines sacks all the time, but I think he's really done a pretty good job in the pocket getting away from trouble and running the football. But what does he do with his eyes? See, that's a little beyond my X's and O's knowledge. And if you ask some people, it's where do his eyes go? Like even on the last play when he fumbled, if he drops his eyes and or if he keeps his eyes up, there's many who believe he could have hit like Marvin Jones over the middle. And didn't really have to escape it as much as he did at that time. Instead, dropped it and then ran and then obviously didn't cover up the football enough. So that's a small example of something that I've heard this week. So he has to play better. It's obvious. But I really think he just doesn't trust much. And that's a hard thing to be in if you're the quarterback and you don't trust much. Now, he'll say he trusts them. Not like he doesn't like these guys. He knows these guys can make plays. But instinctually, just naturally, does he trust what's going on around him right now? And I think after the last few weeks, whether he's kind of put some of this on himself and brought some of it on himself, or it's guys dropping footballs, or it's the offensive line during critical times, or it's the lack of James Robinson, I think he doesn't know what to trust a little bit. And that's happening. And even a little bit is too much in the NFL because you got to trust and let it go. And that is one thing I think people have been a little fair about is, listen, if you got to throw, if you got a one-on-one situation, even if there's not a lot of room, there's a difference between throwing it up for grabs, like he did on the one sideline play where he almost got picked, and there's another difference between just letting your guy go to make a play or throwing him open. And I think he could do more of that, even though it doesn't look like guys are open, and I've been kind of barking up that tree quite a bit because I've watched it from up above, and it doesn't look like guys are open. Then throw him open, and he's got the ability to do that. That's why he's the number 1 overall pick, and I've seen him do that already this year. But for whatever reason, he's a little hesitant about it, and I think a lot of those early turnovers have maybe gotten in his mind that he doesn't want to make a mistake, and so there is a little reluctant to throw it. So, I mean, who really knows? They know inside the building with the conversations, and they watch it much closer and break it down and know what's supposed to happen on each play. But I think there's all of that going on. And it'd be nice if the Jags just figure out offensively a way to simplify things. Simplify, play faster, play better. And that is like overly simplifying it. But that's what the Jags have to do. Brent Martineau from Extreme Wing Sports Grill here at Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax. Come on out. Be here until 6 o'clock. Come on out all weekend long. Got college football big games tomorrow. And then you've got all the NFL games on Sunday, of course, as well. Extreme Wings Sports Grill. Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax. That's where we're at. 4 different locations: Ocean Way, Atlantic and Kernan, St. Johns County off 210 as well. All right, Casey, I want to bring you in for this a little bit. I shared 2 articles with you this morning, and one had to do with what the Patriots did this offseason, and one had to do with what the Jaguars did this offseason when it comes to free agency.
Mm-hmm.
And the moral of the story here is watching what the Patriots are doing. I think the Jaguars could have done everything the Patriots did.
Yes, I would agree.
And they chose not to.
Yeah, no, they did, and you're right, because obviously the money plays in, and the Jags could have done that. But every guy, I feel almost every guy, because I don't remember Jonnu Smith doing anything yesterday, but almost every guy that they spent money on that was in the article you sent me made a play last night that you remember, made an impact to win that game, and it makes me sad.
All right, so what's interesting about the article, let's take the big ones, all right?
Okay.
If you really look at what the Patriots did. Well, we know what the Jags did, first of all, right? The Jags spent some money, but they still have, like, the most money left over after March.
Correct, yes.
So they had more money to spend, and you can always find money on trees in the NFL. They'll go into next year in a pretty good shape with the cap, and that's good too. But the Jaguars went for the middle-of-the-road guys, like Marvin Jones, gave him a decent deal. Shaq Griffin, 3 years, like 40-something million. Rayshon Jenkins, it was like a $35 million deal. Those are good deals. They weren't bad. I think those players have done okay. You know, Marvin in the first handful of weeks, 6 weeks, I really thought was on pace to do exactly what he signed up for. Now he's fallen off the pace in a big-time way. Like, he's going to rally here in the last 8 because he has fallen off with the way this offense has played, and he has not done much the last 3 weeks.
That's
so
correct.
it would be nice for Marvin to come alive. But if you really take the first 5 or 6, I remember saying multiple times, hey, this is what you signed up for. That's what he did in Detroit 3 out of the last 4 years. That's what he's done in his career, and he was definitely on pace to be just about where he's been in some of his best years in Detroit. But now he's got to pick up the pace again. So, like, the Marvin Jones signing is not a bad signing. It's an okay signing, in my opinion.
Agreed. And obviously, I think it was a little easier for him to put up the numbers that he was when he had DJ Chark on the other side. Granted,
True.
DJ wasn't putting up huge numbers, but just the respect that he got. And that's what I think we all anticipated. So that's no shot at Marvin Jones, but that's what we thought. We thought Marvin Jones was going to have opportunities because DJ Chark was the number 1. Now, 1A, 1B was a conversation for sure. But I think early in the season, more of the respect went to DJ Chark. And now, with no DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault not being able to produce, all the attention's on Marvin Jones, as we talked about. So that's probably a reason for the drop-off. But, yeah, the first when they were both out there, Marvin Jones was making plays without a doubt.
Yeah, and so you look at Shaq Griffin, I think he's played really well. I think he's played really well. Now, he could have 2 or 3 turnovers at least, and that would be, like, excellent out of him. but it's a pretty moderate deal, and I think he's doing a good job. Rayshon Jenkins, I think, has been okay. I've heard there's some communication issues in the back end with Rayshon, and that's even part of the reason I think, like, Wingert's playing. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've heard. And so, I think he's okay. I don't think he's like, wow, what a find. Every game he's not making a play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then you had, like, Jihad Ward. I mean, he's a small deal, all right? So, like, I don't even think they thought that he would do that much for him. Roy Robertson-Harris, the last couple of games, now that he's healthy, has really come on.
Yeah, I've seen him back there.
Yeah, that was, and there's a lot of credit to Roy Robertson-Harris for what he's done to help solidify that interior of the defensive line since he's been back. So I think you give him some credit, but again, too small of samples, and I'm not sure he's impacting like the wins and losses in games. Where like Shaq Griffin, if he had come away with a couple of picks, could have probably impacted wins and losses so far.
Absolutely.
Like Marvin Jones, I think he impacted the win against Miami in a big way.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And Shaq, I mean, look, we all know he's putting himself in position to make plays. He's just got to do it. And I trust that. Look, he's been good in this league, and I think he's been good for the Jags. Like you said, he's going to come down with those eventually, but hopefully eventually turns into now.
And so, all right, so just some others. Agnew's been unbelievable for them, like much more than you can ask. Rudy Ford's been unbelievable, and Rudy Ford especially was a very moderate deal. I mean, they are getting a lot out of Rudy Ford compared to what they paid him. And I would say the same with Agnew. I mean, he's really been dynamic, and 3 of the best plays of the year have come from Agnew. Your only explosiveness has come from that. So I'm not here to tell you that the free agent class of the Jags has been bad. But the Patriots went and got 2 tight ends and paid pretty top dollar for them, and then went and got Matt Judon, and he is having a career year
He's incredible.
in New England. And by the way, that was like I think it was a 4-year, $54 million type of deal. Like, that's not break the bank kind of money. That's not like Calais Campbell kind of deal.
Yeah, it's in this article, 4 years, 54.5 with $30 million guaranteed.
Yeah, so, I mean, they could have done that deal or tried to outbid the Patriots, both in that deal for him and also for like a Hunter Henry, if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And they just chose not to, or, again, depending on what you hear, did they miscalculate the free agent market?
Yeah.
This is something that the Jags have not done in the past. They have not miscalculated the free agent market. They knew they had to overpay a little bit. That's how they got Calais Campbell. That's how they got A.J. Boye that year. Like, they overpaid a bit for those guys. At the time, I don't know about overpaid because they didn't overpay for Calais Campbell. That's for damn sure. But they paid more than the other guys were willing.
Sure.
And so that's what you got to do in free agency. I think the Jags misfired on the Johnson, the Cleveland safety, a couple of the tight ends. I'm not sure they were going to get both, but, I mean, when New England got both tight ends, we're like, holy cow, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, I'd rather have Jonnu Smith, I think, coming in that. Well, if you take me back to March,
okay,
I would have rather had Jonnu Smith given Hunter Henry's injury history. And so it was a little buyer beware on the Hunter Henry stuff because he's been injured like his whole career.
He has, but he's
been
Jonnu
productive. Smith to me was a little bit more of a sure thing, and he could give you the blocking and the receiving end. And by the way, I think you'd been wrong because Hunter Henry is a better player right now for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was a little confused this morning. I was listening to something, and I'm not going to give too much detail, but the host of the show said, "Well, Hunter Henry really hasn't been making an impact." And I almost stopped my car. I was like, "What? Are you almost called in the show? What are you talking about? He scored 7 touchdowns on 33 catches. He scored like 6 games in a row."
Yeah, he did. He scored like 6 games in a row.
He's the go-to guy for Mac Jones. He's the ultimate safety blanket, and having a guy like that for Trevor Lawrence, I guess Dan Arnold is turning into that. But having a Hunter Henry type, that'd be nice.
Yeah, and so the crazy thing is here, Casey, I look at the Jags class of free agency, and I'm like, I don't think they did bad with the class. But I also don't know if this class is impacting W's and L's. And also, did they do enough to make Trevor comfortable early on in his career? Now I look at what the Patriots have done. Judon, you name the list, right? They spent like $163 million, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the tight ends have absolutely helped. They brought in Kendrick Bourne, whatever, right? I mean, he's a guy. And somebody else they signed on.
Nelson
I can't
Aguilar.
remember Aguilar, and obviously had the touchdown last night. But you mix all of those together, and they gave 4 weapons on offense to whatever quarterback. By the way, this was before they knew they'd even get Mac Jones. So before whatever quarterback they were going to bring in, they gave them 4 weapons.
That's true.
And they also drafted a running back, and he's played well. Obviously Barmore, they drafted him. Jags picked 3 times before Barmore was picked. Now, one of them was Trevor, so you certainly weren't going to take Barmore there. But they picked Etienne over Barmore, and they picked Tyson Campbell over Barmore.
Yeah.
And many people, are in the draft cycle, kind of projected Barmore to the Jags. And what was the biggest weakness maybe on the defense in the first 6 weeks? The interior pass rush.
Yeah. Didn't
the
love it
Jags
then, don't
could
love
have
it
had
now.
Barmore. What's that?
I said didn't love him passing on him then, don't love it now.
Yeah, I remember Barmore being high on my list too, and I think mostly because everybody kind of had him in that 25 category, and so knowing the Jags had 25 and 33, you're like, okay, well, if he slips to them, they could get him, and then all of a sudden people seem to stay away from Barmore. Patriots go get him, and he's a stud.
Of course he is. Go figure.
So again, the Patriots, you got to make the case Patriots are better coached. Of course. Yeah. I mean, they got Bill Belichick's doing a great job. I saw a tweet today, I think it was from Dan Orlovsky or Field Yates or somebody, said they right now have the best overall draft pick that was drafted in Mac Jones. Agreed. And they have the best free agent pickup in Matt Judon.
Also agree.
And they also, you got to remember, they had 8 opt-outs last year that came back in.
That
and to go along with continuity at the coaching staff, continuity, I think, even on the offensive line a bit. And so you put it all together, and they've got 7 wins.
And more to come.
And more to come. And really, the biggest part of this story is they're making it easy on Mac Jones. I mean, listen, Atlanta's not good defensively, but that was about as easy as a night as I've seen from a quarterback. Mac made 2 really good plays. One on 3rd and 5 where he was under pressure, and he threw it to, I think, Myers, and he made a nice catch off the turf.
Yep.
And then the next play, he threw it to Hunter Henry in tight coverage. And then he threw the pick right after that. Mm-hmm. So he makes 2 really good plays, 1 bad play, and then he had a couple of bad throws on convertible downs. And then I tell you, if you go back and look at all his completions, I think there might have been one other time where it was contested. Everything was wide open. Well, what does that tell you? One, they put enough of pieces around him to get players wide open, and they're not like Pro Bowl, all-pro players outside of, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith are good, but Bourne and Aguilar are just guys.
Absolutely.
And so what does that really tell you? They're scheming it up.
Yeah.
Last night was a clear indication of scheming up open guys. And the biggest disservice right now, and this is where Bevel, it's hard to defend him, he's got to scheme better stuff, because I watched Mac Jones just play against Air last night and looked like he was at practice, and these guys were running wide open, or at least with not a defender within 2-3 yards of them.
Yeah, agreed. And one thing the Patriots do really well as well is run the football. I think Damian Harris is pretty good. Stevenson is also good. But they don't run the ball better than the Jags, in my opinion. James Robinson is better than both of their backs, and he can break tackles and do all these things. So when you have that, as the Patriots and Jags do, the ability to run the ball well, one team can figure out how to scheme guys open and one guy can't, to your point. We got to figure out how to do that. And I don't know if Darrell Bevel's the guy to figure that out, because he obviously hasn't been able to yet, but he needs to figure it out quick, because now the Patriots receivers, like you said, they're just guys. Our guys might be just guys too, but they're just guys are getting open.
Yeah, and I don't think we can dismiss the fact that James Robinson being out hurts their run game so much. And Carlos Hyde is in that free agent class, and he's been okay for what they paid him and brought him in, but he's not the guy. And so when you lose James Robinson, again, they've got to figure it out, but a lot of this bad offense has come when James Robinson's been out. But from a schematic standpoint, I just watched it clear as day yesterday, where Josh McDaniels just made things so easy. And yes, the running game, the defense, and special teams of the Patriots right now is arguably the best complementary football in the NFL. It's unbelievable. They're all playing well in all phases. The Jaguars have not had that. Their defense, when their offense was running the football, their defense wasn't playing well. Now that their defense is playing well, they didn't have James Robinson. Their special teams has been so off and on, like great highlight moments and then big disappointments, from kicks to blocked punts. And so they don't have all that other stuff. That, too, helps Mac Jones out. That helps the offensive coordinator out. But it is pretty obvious that running a crossing route a couple of times or scheming people open, I don't know if you have to be as open as Nelson Aguilar was on the touchdown, but you can be as open as, like, the 18 other completions Mac threw.
Yeah. That's true.
I
Because
mean,
those guys were
really,
open, tell you what.
Really simple stuff, it felt like. And I think that Bevel's got to do a better job. I mean, that's what I came away last night. I was like, I've defended Bevel at times. But I watched that, and that was all coaching. That is not a, like, unbelievable dynamic offense. The Jags got to be better and to help Trevor out more from a schematic standpoint, calling plays standpoint. And by the way, I know Austin says, like, hey, Mac does a good job at the line of scrimmage. I didn't see Mac do much at the line of scrimmage last night. I think they just snapped the ball, and he threw it where they designed the play to be.
Yeah, I guess, yes, I agree with you, but maybe more of that was the Atlanta defense and not being able to figure out what was going on in general. But, yeah, it was just kind of like they knew what they were doing. They had the right plays called, and they executed.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they can fix it Sunday against 49ers. More football talk coming up. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. We're live from Extreme Wing Sports Grill here on Roosevelt Boulevard.
What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jacks, and I have something brand new to ESPN 690 to share with you. Every Jags home game morning, we are bringing you ESPN 690 Game Day Live from the Duval House. Brent Martineau will be live at the Duval House, right next to the bank, and I'll be in studio getting you ready for a Jags home game, the other games around the NFL, fantasy football, and even some Survivor Pool advice as well. Listen live every Jags home game morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's ESPN 690 Game Day Live, sponsored by the Duval House.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
After a whole month of pro values, Lowe's Provember event is ending soon. But pros like you still have time to save. Plus, when you become a Pro Loyalty member now through November 24th, you'll get a welcome kit via mail, Lowe's bucket included. It's all part of Provember, going on online and in stores. Lowe's, the new home for pros. New accounts only. More terms and conditions apply. While supplies last. Visit Lowe's.com/pro-loyalty for details. U.S. only.
Nights of Lights dazzles with more than 3 million lights in the historic district of St. Augustine. Now imagine doubling those lights as they reflect off the water during your tour with Redboat Tours. Avoid downtown crowds by boarding at Beach's Restaurant Marina at 250 Volano Road. Then sit back and let Captain Tony and Miss Jennifer take you on a tour you'll never forget. Don't settle for imposters. Make no mistake, Redboat Tours is St. Augustine's only USA Today Reader's Choice Best Boat Tour 3 years running. Book your Nights of Lights tours now at redboattours.com.
The thing about comparing rates at Progressive.com is that by now you've heard a lot of ads about comparing rates at Progressive.com. We probably don't even need the words comparing rates anymore to remind you that seasoning steaks at Progressive.com is an easy way to save on car insurance, or that swimming in trousers helps you find the lowest rate. And that's the thing about foraging for truffles. You've heard a lot of ads about standing tiptoe on a cinder block. Compare rates and sing softly to a wounded field mouse and save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
At Ulta Beauty, we know getting ready for the holidays is what makes the holidays the holidays. That shimmering anticipation in the air, lighting the room with scents of the season, setting the perfect table. But now, it's time for you to get ready with the red lip that says, "It's so good to see you," and that gold shadow that makes you sparkle. So let's get ready to celebrate more, because it's moments like these that truly make up the holiday season. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-530-9353. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-530-9353. That's 800-530-9353. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Bono's Pit Barbecue. Yeah, it's good. It's more than food. It's about the flavor, the tradition. It's barbecue, and it's who we are at Bono's. Locally smoked since 1949. Almost 20 locations around Jacksonville. On the menu, smokehouse stackers, sandwiches, salads, sides, and Bono's family feast. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. Authentic traditional Southern barbecue. Feel the flavor, feel the community. Bono's Pit Barbecue. Yeah, it's good.
Welcome to a place where everyone deserves to be better protected, where technology has your back, where you can have better protection and keep more money in your pocket, where you can have protection for your car, your home, your phone, and even your digital identity. Welcome to a place where your entire life can be better protected. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Hey, first ever Jacksonville Classic presented by Fabletics coming to town this Sunday and Monday at UNF Arena. We've got a basketball tournament, a holiday basketball tournament called the Jacksonville Classic. It's Sunday, 4 different games, 2 sessions on Sunday, highlighted by Florida State and Loyola Marymount getting together at 5:30 in the evening session. And then on Monday, 2 more sessions, 4 games total. And there'll be a third-place game and a championship game Monday, November 22nd. It's the Jacksonville Classic presented by Fabletics. 8 teams in town. Florida State, LMU battling Sunday night. Missouri and SMU, another one of the games. Check it out, JacksonvilleClassic.com for tickets. Flooring seats already sold out, but you can still get tickets at JacksonvilleClassic.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Austin Lane. Check out Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com.
Hey, welcome back to Extreme Wings Sports Grill. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz. We're on Roosevelt Boulevard, 4 different locations for Extreme Wings. I got the teriyaki mediums I'm chowing down on during commercial breaks right now. Kind of like Peyton Manning style in breaks.
Oh, okay. So you're not really breathing.
No.
That's that noise I'm hearing through the speaker.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Breathe, baby, breathe.
Very good.
All right, let's finish up this conversation because I just watched I probably watched more of the Patriots last night than I've watched all year. Again, I always say this. I don't really watch unless they're primetime games. I don't get a chance on Sundays to watch a lot of action in other teams. And Patriots are playing really good football right now. I think they're playing above their pay grade, to be honest. I don't think they're this good, but they're clicking. The schedule's right. I mean, I think they've only beat one team with a winning record, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, they thumped Cleveland last week. I mean, that was pretty impressive. They went out to the West Coast and beat the Chargers in this stretch. And, yeah, they beat Houston a couple times. I'm sorry, Houston. They beat the Jets a couple times. And they beat, Atlanta last night. So I don't know if they're great. But they have 7 wins. The Jags have 2 wins. And I'm not sure their situations were that different going into the offseason. The Jags feel like they could have got some of these players or put it together a little bit better around Trevor Lawrence, or maybe just scheme it better like they do for Mac Jones. Their offenses are not that different. Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith are better than anybody the Jags have at tight end. Outside of that, their depth at running back is better. Outside of that, are the Patriots and Jags offenses that different?
I think the offense is very similar.
Not defensively. I'm just talking offense. So my point being, like, schematically wise, Josh McDaniels is getting it done. Darrell Bevell needs to do better.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Simple.
And, yeah, it is simple. I'm not going to make it any more difficult than it needs to be.
All right, so there's another part of this that's interesting. If you go back to the article when the Patriots spent $163 million, I think this came out in, like, September, the free agency can work, but it's hard to sustain by spending that much money. You have the article up?
I do.
Give us some of the examples. And the Jags are one of these examples, by the way, in 2017.
Yeah.
But look at the win-loss record when they spent big bucks, the examples they give in the article. And then later on, I'll give you the second-year records of what happened. Go ahead if you don't mind, Casey.
Yeah, so they highlight a couple teams. The Jags, obviously, one who were 10-6 in 2017. The 2016 Giants, who spent big money on defense, they were 11-5. The Bears in 2018 were 12-4. And I'm not really sure how this makes the article, but the 2019 Jets were 7-9. I don't know why they got it included, because they obviously got worse, but I don't know why 7-9 was being applauded in the first place. So we're going to get rid of them. We're just going to go with the 12-4 Bears, the 10-6 Jags, and the 11-5 Giants in 16, 17, and 18.
Okay, and so if you look at those, that's recent history. Well, what happened is they couldn't sustain it. So in the Giants in 2016 went from 11-5 to 3-13 the next year. That's year 2.
Yeah.
After the free agent spending spree. The Jaguars, as we know, went from 10-6 the AFC Championship to 5-11 and another disaster. The 2018 Bears slipped from 12-4 to 8-8. And then I think they used the Jets as 7-9 because then they slipped to 2-14.
Yeah.
So bottom line is, you might get a bump from this way of spending the way the Patriots did, but can you sustain it? The only thing that I like about it is it puts in Mac Jones in a good spot. So it puts your young QB in a spot where Trevor doesn't feel like he's in as good a spot to succeed. And Trevor might not be playing as well as Mac Jones. That might be part of it. We can't dismiss that. But they are giving a lot of confidence to a guy like Mac Jones coming into the NFL. And right now we're seeing, I think, a little bit of a lack of confidence and trust coming from a guy like Trevor Lawrence. And maybe if the Jags had spent more money, that would be a little bit different, especially on the offensive side of the ball, especially on the tight end part of it. Or if they just scheme it up better and coach it up better. Because it's either one of the two. They didn't add enough, or they're not doing a good enough job coaching.
Right. What's interesting?
Or Trevor's just not as good. I mean, maybe that's it too. We might find that out down the road.
Well, I don't want to do that yet. But what's interesting about the Giants, Jags, and Bears in those stretches, and I guess the Jets included, but I don't have that example ready. Eli Manning, Blake Bortles, Mitch Trubisky. Do we look past that part of it?
Well, that's a good call. You shouldn't look past. That's a very good note.
Yeah.
I think that is a good note. Eli, by the way, later in his career.
Well, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
So that's I think that's a fair point. Yeah, I think that's a really fair point.
Because it's none of that money was spent on quarterbacks in any of those builds. Well, I guess Blake was after the fact, but you get the point.
Yeah, no, it's a good call. What the crazy thing about the Jags is, Bortles played a role in it, and it was less about the guys that you spent money on just collapsing, because Calais has continued to play good football.
Yeah.
Really what the Jags was more gutted from the inside out because they couldn't keep the players that they had drafted and were trying to develop. Guys like Jan and guys like Ramsey end up going away.
Yeah.
So, and things start going sour for a variety of reasons. A very interesting study, though. Just watching the Patriots versus the Jags and the free agency spend and watch this on the trajectory now going for the next couple of years and how it will impact both football teams. The one good thing about Jags, they still have money to spend next year. Patriots have a lot less probably of it.
That is true. That means they're not getting Devontae Adams. We might.
Maybe not. We'll be back. We are live at Extreme Wing Sports Grill. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
Got a business trip, long weekend, or maybe you just really want to try that new Toyota before you buy it? Then get it all when you rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. With easy online reservations and rental rates as low as $19.95 a day, there's nothing stopping you from hitting the open road in a new 2021 Toyota. So rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Try it before you buy it and reserve your rental online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts. Jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wings Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wings Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks.
Know what time it is? It's time to get moving. Cora Physical Therapy has opened a new state-of-the-art clinic in Kingsland on Boone and Haddock, and will be opening another one soon in Brunswick. With Cora, you have access to licensed, passionate clinicians, only the most innovative equipment, and life-changing therapies. Cora is all about treating everyone right now. It's your move. Visit coraphysicaltherapy.com for a free screening. No physician's referral required. Same-day appointments available.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-333-1750. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-333-1750. That's 800-333-1750 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
What's your ultimate game day experience? A tricked out man cave? Deluxe tailgate? Then enter the 5-Hour Energy Football Sweepstakes for a chance to win $10,000. And make your ultimate game day experience a reality. To enter, buy any 5-Hour Energy product and upload the receipt. It's that easy. The 5-Hour Energy Football Sweepstakes. Enter today.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 and a legal resident of the U.S. Ends December 10th, 2021. For official rules and how to enter without purchase, visit 5hesport.com. Void where prohibited.
For the ones who are always in the know.
Delivery confirmed.
For the ones who keep things running. For the innovators and the problem solvers. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, experienced staff at local branches, and free access to experts to help answer your toughest questions. So whatever challenge you face, we have the knowledge and products to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
You got to have a niche, and that's his. That's how he's on the field. But then all of a sudden, 3rd and long, he makes a play. He's a very viable receiver as well. Yeah, that's the culture. You start talking about culture. He is the culture of the receiver right now. tough, big cats that go pound you and then make plays.
Well, that's interesting. If you said who's the culture of the receiving room right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Laquan Treadwell? That's who Urban Meyer was talking about. That will show you that the receiving room's not playing that well, with all due respect to Laquan Treadwell.
Yeah, it threw me off too. But, I'm with it, Herbs, whatever.
Listen, he's a big culture guy. There's a lot of different ways to go, and he explained the culture stuff like this week as well and what he means by it and the components of it from like a player perspective, not just like an organizational perspective. But, Laquan, it's amazing where this receivers room has gone. And Laquan Treadwell, by the way, made a heck of a play the other day, made a heck of a block the other day. And so that's what he's talking about. Like, he had a good game, and he made plays. And if that's the guy who's going to make plays, well, then at least somebody's making plays. I'm all for it. He might be a nice second half of the year story and a good find. But this is a room that we kind of liked. Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark, and then everybody who will see where they fall after that. And it's now like, all right, Marvin Jones hasn't done much the last 3 weeks. DJ Chark is hurt. Laviska Shenault is regressed and is in a funk. And now Laquan Treadwell's like the guy? And really, Jamal Agnew has been the guy. A really weird wide receiver room this year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. What we thought in terms of expectations, how it's played out. And I guess the hope is that if these other guys can get on board, obviously Chark's not coming back, but if you mix in a nice story like Treadwell, if he finds consistency, Jamal Agnew and what he's brought to the table at times, Marvin plays the first the last 8 games like he did maybe the first 5 games, and Laviska finds himself, well, now you got a chance to be pretty successful at the wideout position and really mix it up because there's a lot of different styles in there that you could like, but they got to be playing well, and they've got to get him the football and they got to catch football. So that part's pretty wild for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brent Martineau here at Extreme Wing Sports Grill. Got a windy Friday for the high school football playoffs, but it's a nice Friday, and we'll have a lot of high school football talk coming up with Committed to the Uncommitted presented by Baker Sports. That will be at 5 o'clock. Kevin Sullivan will join me. We'll tell you a little bit more about what we've been doing with that and how the players are playing as well. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, a couple things to get to. How are we doing on the golf picks? You should have picked Taylor Gooch this week.
Yeah, I'm upset. That's the only way to put it. I'm not happy about that, but, Taylor Gooch will get past it together. Golf picks.
Scheffler's won over.
For the day?
For the day.
I was going to say.
So he's now
6
under.
Yeah, so he'll be fine. At last check, Harris English was below the cut line. So I'll have to do a recheck. But
he is right below it. It's
should be 4.
Oh, no, he's screwed. He's 3 under. Wow, man, he's 3 under, and he's going to miss the cut.
Yep.
It's not like he played bad.
Yeah, it's a tough situation out there at the RSM Classic. Luke List, by the way, T15. So
we're going to need the wind to blow a little bit in the final stages of this afternoon's round, and there's really not a lot of golfers left out there.
Yeah.
So what is it? Top 60.
62, I believe.
62, is it?
Yeah, so it should be – yeah, so it's going to – as of right now, it's 4 under.
It's 4 under. We need a couple of these guys coming home to really choke.
Well,
so we get that cut line.
It's brutal out there. A lot of over par scores today. Goodness.
I'm trying to figure out the cut line. It's a really hard thing to do.
I promise it's 4. But, yeah. The daily fantasy not looking good. I'll tell you that. A lot of the guys shooting over par, not a good situation. Taylor Gooch, not good, 1 week early. Not good over there. Scotty Scheffler, though, he'll turn it around. He's a weekend guy. Just got to get there, and then he'll get it done. But, hey, like Harris English, but, hey, at the end of the day, I need to make up points. So if Harris misses the cut, it was just meant to be, Brent.
Yeah, I can't fault Harris for 2. I mean, he's 3 under, it's
he gave it a good run.
Yeah, it's not like he's playing poorly.
Yeah.
By the way, you can go up to the RSM Classic this week, St. Simon's Island. This weekend, check out the final 36 holes of the event. It's just about an hour, 20-minute ride from Jacksonville, and a great place to go watch a little bit of golf if you got some time this weekend looking for something to do. It's going to get really a bunch cooler next week, but it should survive in terms of the warmth over the next couple of days. Now, the wind will blow up there. It'll come off the ocean a bit, and so I'd bring a sweatshirt if you're going up to the Gulf. But how about next week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, we're talking the lows in the 30s.
Oh, boy.
And the weather's not bad. Like, I mean, it's still in the 60s and upper 50s one day, but 60s and even into the 70s next week, Thanksgiving week. But we could get down into the 30s overnight and those morning lows. That's your first alert forecast.
There it
by
is.
Brent Martineau, not Mike Burrish.
Side gig.
You know, a little known story. I did weather at my first job in Alexandria, Louisiana.
Did you really?
Yep.
Like
I did news, sports, and weather at times.
So it was just your station.
Yes, basically. They should have named it after me.
They'd toss back to the anchor desk, and you'd be tossing to yourself to sports, and you'd be, oh, my goodness.
I probably told – I say this all the time. It's funny to go back and look at it now. I've been in the business 20 years. But, I mean, back then all you did was you'd steal everything from the Weather Channel. You know?
Yeah.
And like I was market like 173. There's like 210 markets in the country.
Right.
And so it's a very small town. And so you would – I think I just filled in. I think I was like a fill-in weather guy. And then I would do sports. But at times I would anchor the news. And the woman, I forget her name now. She was very nice, but she was a little older. And, I mean, she was probably like, when I say a little older from an anchor woman standpoint in this market, I don't know how long she had been in the market, but probably I would say in her late 50s.
Okay.
And I was 22.
Sure.
So I would anchor the news with her.
Oh, that's different. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like it seriously looked, and of course, when I was 22, I looked like I was 13.
I can believe that. Yeah.
Like seriously looked like I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
And so it looked like I was anchoring the news with my grandmother. And she, by the way, did not look bad. Like, this is not a knock on her. No disrespect to her. She did not look bad. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell she was like 60 if she was 60.
Right.
But it just looked that way because I looked like I was 13.
The optics. Man, I wish I could have. I got to find the tape on that.
Yeah, I'll have to find the tape. By the way, that was probably on a tape that doesn't exist anymore, like the style of tape.
That's a good point. And even
they
if
didn't
we
have
find
like SD cards and all that now. So I have some of it. There's no doubt I have it. I just got to find it and dig it up.
You have any memorable weather moments? Like, did you drop "It's raining cats and dogs" out there? Like anything?
Yeah,
good?
I don't remember. I probably didn't do anything stupid like that. I probably did. I mean, I was so young. It was my first 6 months in TV, so I probably was trying to be as, cookie cutter professional as I could.
Sure. Yeah.
In that spot, but I mean, I've said this for a long time. I love the weather. I would have gone maybe flirted with the idea of going into the meteorology field. Except I just had this view, like I like math, but I don't like science, or I didn't like science in school. And so I knew there was a lot of science to get like your meteorology degree.
So, yeah.
And I didn't want to do that, all the science that it took to get to the fun science stuff.
Right.
And so I think, as I remember thinking about it, I kind of knew I wanted to do sports since I was like 12. So I can't say I heavily thought about meteorology, but I thought about it.
It was there. It was there.
Yeah.
Like if I have to, I've always wanted to ask Bursch this. I never did. Do they have to get 2 degrees, like like TV and meteorology?
Well, you don't have to. Like now, the big thing, and I think all of our folks are. I want to say it's like AMS certified.
Oh yeah, we're the only weather team in Jacksonville, Brent, that everybody's AMS certified. You better believe it.
Yeah, so I think that's like a big deal. Like that's kind of having like your PhD in weather. Is the way I look at it. Like, I don't really know what it is. I don't know how many classes they have to take for it or what kind of testing. But I think it feels like, hey, that's like having your PhD,
Yeah, I'm with it.
So it'd be like we should make something up for sports guys.
Like an AMS type thing?
Yeah, like an MVP.
Well, we could.
Or something.
We should probably change the letters, though. But, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I mean,
because everyone's not an MVP, Brent. I hate to tell you.
I understand. But I'm just saying – we could come up with some letters and say like Action Sports Jacks, the only
I like that.
so letters certified
in Jacksonville
sportscasters in the country.
Oh, that's true, in the country. Good call. Good call. I like it.
We might be onto something.
Stuart Weber, find us some letters. You're probably listening.
Find us some letters. I might be onto something. I'm convinced before the end of my career we're going to try to do like a school or a camp or something. I've always wanted to do that. Like I think we should do Action Sports Jacks camp.
That would be really cool,
sports,
actually.
Like journalism. Yeah, I think it would be neat. I just haven't figured out a way to exactly do it, but I think we'll try to formulate it at some point.
I like that.
I probably just gave everybody else a good idea.
You did. You really did. And it's too late to dump it.
It is too late to dump it for you. Hopefully nobody's listening to the show today.
Well, I don't know if we hope
nobody
for that,
of importance or influence in that respect.
Yeah.
Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, we hope you're listening to the show, of course. Hey, I talk a ton of baseball around here. We love the football this time of year. But I was thinking more about Ohtani and Bryce Harper winning the MVP. And so I have two questions.
Okay.
Ohtani, was that the pinnacle for him? Because it's been a little bit of a long ride to get to that many innings pitched, stay healthy, be that productive from the mound.
Yeah.
And now, like, just be this, like, home run hitting monster machine where it's like 460-foot bombs. You know, I feel like the hitting's going to stay. I think he's that good of a hitter. But did we just see him do the best he might do from the mound, or is there room to grow and therefore the legend to grow even more for Shohei Ohtani?
I think there is room to grow, but not in the regular season. I think to keep him healthy and keep him hitting, you max out kind of where you are innings-wise. I mean, unless you try to go in some sort of relief role and kind of limit, you still start him, but then like towards the end of the season, maybe use him in relief role. But I think the legend can only really grow in the postseason, because when you get to the postseason, everything changes in the way of just everyone elevates their game, and having him be able to pitch, start, he could be in right field and they just bring him in. Like it would be incredible the stuff they could do in the postseason with really no plan, or really no it'd be incredible. So I think the only way that the legend will grow on Shohei Ohtani is they have to be a postseason team. But in the regular season, I think this is what he is: 40 home runs, 100 plus innings by a little bit, and I think he's still going to be good. But he's got to get to the postseason to excel the legendary status.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Can he do it in the big-time months? I just even – there is an element of that, right? That's your next level. I mean, I think even Mike Trout faces that because they haven't sniffed it,
right.
You know? But I do wonder – I just want – listen, he didn't pitch every week. He didn't pitch like 30 starts. So does he get to a point where he does even better on the mound? I don't know. I wonder about that. Or if I kind of – if I'm going to pick, I think he was so good this year that I kind of feel like this might have been his best. Now, that doesn't mean he won't be good still in spots on the mound. But I think the combination of what he did at the plate and what he did on the mound, throwing 102 miles an hour, hitting it 480 feet. I mean, I don't know if we'll see that again. I think it's tough to ask that of him. The only other thing that can happen now for the Angels is, my gosh, can they win? Because look at their records. They're 77-85, 26-34 in the shortened year, 72-90, 80-82, 80-82, 74-88 since 2016. They haven't had a winning record since 2015. They finished last in that division every year but one.
Yeah,
I mean,
really bad.
That's ridiculous for the star power they have.
Yeah.
Can you name another sport where you could say they have the two best players in baseball, arguably? Like, they have the two best players in the sport, arguably, and they don't win? Like, they don't even get to 500?
Yeah, no. As glaring of an example, no. I mean, in hockey, you could kind of point to Edmonton, but they do win. They're over 500. And I think that's just why baseball is the ultimate team game. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday on Action Sports Jax OT. Baseball is the one sport that you can't be incredibly excelled by one player. You need all nine and your pitching staff to do it. Where in sports like basketball or hockey, you have guys that can take over, and obviously the quarterback is incredibly important in football. But yeah, it's truly incredible that in all the time Mike Trout has been on their team, they can't find some selection of three dudes that can pitch because they never have more than two, and it's incredible.
Yeah, it is pretty incredible. All right, so follow that up with the Ohtani conversation, which I think is a fascinating one, but it was a unanimous MVP vote.
I thought.
Listen, we thought that, but I thought there would be enough on the other side. I mean, listen, there's always another side. And there are enough crazy people to not vote Derek Jeter. One guy didn't vote Derek Jeter in or whatever it is. You know?
It was one, yeah.
I'm surprised that it was unanimous in that regard, but I guess kudos to the voters for noticing that, even as great of a season. I mean, it'll be the best season, I feel like, in like the history of the game, and it might not be, but that doesn't get rewarded with an MVP in terms of Vlad Guerrero. He was so good. What about Harper? Has Bryce Harper, if we think of hype guys,
yeah,
we think of LeBron, he's delivered. We think of Tiger, he's delivered. We think of Ken Griffey, he's delivered. If you had asked me any time this year, has Bryce Harper delivered on the hype? Without looking at numbers and without supporting the evidence of it and everything else, I would just say, I don't feel like he has.
Yeah.
But now you go back and you look at the numbers and you look at the now two-time MVP.
Yep.
Gosh, I guess he has. I mean, he's the two-time MVP. How many people do that?
Not for not a lot, and he's only the fifth guy to do it for two different teams. So that's part of it. But we talked about that a little bit yesterday as well, and it's no one in baseball, I guess Ohtani when he came over, but no American-born player has had the hype and everything that Bryce Harper had. And because the Nationals won that World Series, he's looked at differently, in my opinion. And first of all, nobody's going to live up to a $300 million contract. Like, it's just not possible, in my opinion. So you have that. You have the Nationals that win without him, so then you can obviously point the finger and say he wasn't the best player on a winning team, and that's a problem. But, look, he's won the MVP twice. He's been incredible, and since he's been in Philly, he hit 260 his first year. The COVID-shortened season, he hit like 268, I believe it was. He hit over 300 this year. So he has elevated his game to pay off the contract, if you will. But he's incredible, and it's just he might not be the best player on a winning team. And that's just it is what it is, I guess. But for the expectation he had on him, it's hard to say 2 MVPs hasn't paid it off.
He has hit 267 career home runs, 750 RBI. He's got a 279 career average, 392 on base, slugged 524, OPS 916. He's had the 2 monster seasons. I think, let's see, he was Rookie of the Year and now a 2-time MVP and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did he not? Was he not an All-Star this past year? But he's 6-time All-Star.
Sounds right.
So in 10 seasons.
Right. He's got a long way to go.
Here's the craziest part of this as you look up numbers for Bryce Harper. He has played 10 years in the bigs.
Yeah.
And he's 28.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. It's incredible.
He's 28. Like, he might be just getting to the prime of his career.
Yeah. No, I there's a very good chance that he is. And if that is the case, then a lot of people are going to have to eat the words that they said about him in Philly and in Washington and all over, because he, as hyped up as he was, he's been overshadowed by Mike Trout since Mike Trout became good, because people like to forget Mike Trout came up that year before Bryce and was really bad with the Angels. And he came back up the next year and became the Mike Trout that we know. But since then, those two have been compared to each other. They played in the first All-Star game together for both of their careers. So Mike Trout has always been the one that overshadowed Bryce Harper in a weird way, besides, I guess, with the free agency and all that. But, yeah, there's a very believable chance that Bryce Harper gets better at this point, and he might end up with 4 or 5 MVPs if he keeps playing the way he is right now, and that's a very reasonable thing to believe.
Yeah, because the primary career in baseball is interesting, but 27 to 32 is certainly a window for a hitter and outfielder. Like, I look at Daniel Murphy. I mean, his best years were, I think, 27 to 30, 27 to 31. Mm-hmm. So you get to the big so late sometimes that the prime of your career is later on. Now, listen, he's got a little more mileage on him. He probably feels older than a 28-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
After all the ball he's played and stuff. But, I mean, he's got a chance if he does stay healthy and he's figured it out. And now he's got a little pressure off him because he goes and gets the big deal and he gets an MVP and he has a big year. Well, once you can take a breath, and if you're Bryce Harper, now maybe just the floodgates open. I always thought Bryce Harper, I think, is a cool player. Like, he's fun. I think he's great for the sport. But I'll be honest, the last couple of years, I'm like, even in this season, like you'd have to look it up that he had this good a year. I don't remember him like being a headline day in, day out.
No, he wasn't.
And that's mostly because there are so many headlines now. Ohtani, Trout, if he does play when he's not hurt. All the Dodgers guys, from Mookie Betts to everyone else. The Yankees guys like Stanton and Judge. I mean, there's a lot of competition for Bryce Harper's popularity now.
Yeah, and I think that helps, to be honest. When you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated, when you're in high school, you don't really get to shy away from the spotlight ever at any point in time. And now I'm sure in Philadelphia, well, maybe not, but I imagine he's the lead story a lot, especially as well as he was playing. But nationally on MLB Network, it was Ohtani, and rightfully so. Vlad Jr. as well, and other guys like you said. But maybe, as weird as it sounds, going to Philadelphia and kind of finding a different role, if you will, has helped him to the point where now he will be the lead story again, and who knows how that will change. But you'd have to think that the less publicity from the national level had to have helped him.
Yeah, good for him, though. I mean, that's a heavy weight. I'll tell you a story. I don't know when it was, but I don't know how long ago it was. I'd have to go back and look at pictures of how old the kids were. But we went down to Vieira, where, as you probably know, the Nationals were before they went down to Jupiter, and which was great. 2 hours down the road, right off the highway. It was a great trip down, easy to go see the Nationals play. And we went down in part because a college buddy of mine, his buddy from his hometown was like the nutritionist or trainer, I think a trainer for the Nationals. And so we were going down anyway, but we got some tickets, and it was cool. And so we're waiting in the will call line, and the guy right in front of us that we didn't realize at the time, but we ended up talking to him, and it was Bryce Harper's dad.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And Bryce Harper's dad, by the way, is jacked.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah. And Harper's dad, I saw him last night on TV when he was doing the interview, and I was like, holy cow, guy looks kind of the same.
Yeah.
That definitely, he wasn't lying to us that day. That's definitely Bryce Harper's dad that we were talking to 10 years ago in Vieira, which, again, is one of the beauties of spring training. You get to go down and see that kind of stuff and have those experiences. But good for Bryce Harper. Wins the MVP, his second one, 6-time All-Star. The numbers are starting to grow, and he might just be in the prime of his career. I'm in the prime of my career when it comes to picks. But I got to do better. I'm not an MVP candidate just yet. How did we do last week? How will we do this week? Picks are on the way. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 here on a Friday. We are live from Extreme Wing Sports Grill, Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks. Come on out right here at Roosevelt Boulevard or any of the 4 locations, St. Johns County off 210, Atlantic and Kernan, Ocean Way, or right here near NAS Jacks.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy today. Temperatures top out midday around 70 before falling through the 60s this afternoon as it turns breezy and cooler. Partly cloudy tonight, low to mid-50s, and a partly cloudy, rather windy and cool Saturday. A brief sprinkle or light shower, mostly dry, temperatures topping out in the 60s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now you can save up to 41% off during Beard's anniversary sale.
If you're like me, you come home from work and walk through a messy garage hurdling shoes and bats and bikes. Well, get the easy garage solution that I got. It's called Easy Garage Solutions. One-of-a-kind monkey bar technology that will last a lifetime. Hang the bikes and the lawn equipment. Easy Garage Solutions. Shelving and overhead storage for boxes and bins. Easy Garage Solutions. Cabinets and flooring available too. Easy Garage Solutions. Find them at easygaragesolutions.com. Easy Garage Solutions. It's that easy.
Mr. and Mrs. Flavor, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here. I'm Barry, the flavor of berry.
I'm Janet. I'm bitter.
And I understand your son is the flavor menthol?
Yes, he's the menthol in a menthol cigarette.
He's such a disappointment. Out there getting people addicted, being used by big tobacco to target black people. He could have been a lozenge.
Menthol cigarettes are harder to quit than regular cigarettes. Find out how to quit today at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
I'm Adam Greathouse, United States Army.
Greg Gatson, Colonel, United States Army.
When I came back home, I realized something wasn't right with me.
I was wounded as a battalion commander.
I thought I was going to be stuck there. I thought everyone forgot me.
Hi, I'm Representative Kat Kamak. This year, let's make sure our veterans get the support they need and deserve. Let's take the time to thank those who put everything on the line for us.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The Florida Department of Elder Affairs, in coordination with the state's health and human services agencies and local stakeholders, is making sure homebound seniors get their COVID-19 shots. If you or someone you know is unable to leave the house, let us come to you. Residents may call 1-800-96-ELDER to reach your local area agency on aging. This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
You've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You have to carefully monitor your health for the rest of your life. And you have an increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease.
Cut. Take 2. Action.
You've been diagnosed with a new purpose, to fight for the amazing life you made for yourself. To look that risk of heart disease square in the face and say, no, not me. You've been given a new opportunity to live. Get started at NoDiabetesByHeart.org.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent. With help from Family Support Services of North Florida, you provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
Whether you're a rock-solid hard athlete or a hardcore fan, in Little League, a pro, or a weekend warrior, Cora Physical Therapy is here to help you reach your goals. We're happy to announce that Cora is now open in Kingsland, on Boone and Haddock, and we're coming soon to Brunswick. With a total of 17 clinics in the Jacksonville region, there's sure to be one near your home or work. Call or come in today for a free screening. No physician's referral needed. CoraPhysicalTherapy.com. Treating everyone right.
In today's world, there's a lot of ways to know what's happening. At Action News Jax, we make sure our local stories have more detail, so you get every angle that impacts you. We dig for answers because you deserve the whole story. Taking time to provide context so you're clear on what's really going on. Because we know information is thrown at you 24/7. And we want you to know that Action News Jax is local coverage you can count on.
For the ones who are always in the know. For the ones who keep things running. For the innovators and the problem solvers. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, experienced staff at local branches, and free access to experts to help answer your toughest questions. So whatever challenge you face, we have the knowledge and products to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Owen. I'm a cigarette.
Do you like being a cigarette?
No, I don't. Not really into killing thousands of people. Sorry, no filter.
Right.
What's your sign?
Pisces?
I'm a cancer. Cigarette joke. But seriously, I do cause cancer. And heart disease. And strokes. I could go on forever. Unlike the people who smoke me.
The average smoker lives 10 years less than non-smokers. Quit today. Find out how at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Whether on your radio, on your phone, or your smart speaker.
Now playing ESPN Radio.
He's seen guys that's not even going to make the team. He's going to throw for 4,000 yards in a game.
Wake up with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
I feel like from a receiver standpoint, I have a better chance to be productive with Jalen Hurts because he can extend plays. I think we will have a better chance to win as well. And he's a proven winner at the college level, right? He just has that aura about himself when he steps in the huddle. So it's a big difference, and it means a lot to an offense. I'll be the first to tell you that.
I don't know who that was. Talking about Jalen Hurts.
That would be ESPN's Harry Douglas.
Chris Canty? Oh.
Close, sort of. Not really.
When I can't find, I should go back to Chris Canty because he's been hot on your list of sound bites.
I like his sounds. He's good. Like, he has good, strong takes, and I can appreciate that. They're not always great, but they're strong, and that's what I appreciate.
That's right. Not always right, but they're strong.
Yeah,
that's part of the business. That's kind of what we all do, I think, hopefully. Brent Martineau here at Extreme Wing Sports Grill. Casey Kurtz back in the Action Sports Shack studios, pushing all the right buttons, getting all the graphics ready for the shows tonight. And that includes coming up at 5, football at 5. We'll have Committed to the Uncommitted hour. It's really a special hour of high school football and recognize some of the kids we've highlighted on the Committed to the Uncommitted segment presented by Baker Sports this high school football season. We're really looking into maybe keeping it going in other sports too. But we'll highlight the football players and what they're doing now and if they've got any looks. Not only since our program has run, but really just on their own because time has gone by and you get some looks. So hopefully we turn it into a segment that we can influence the impact of maybe getting a few looks, especially if they're not. But the idea is to highlight kids that have been under the radar in the recruiting world, and we'll talk about that coming up. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690, 5 o'clock hour. Kevin Sullivan will join us. Brent Martineau here, Casey Kurtz there. Brandon Ponsel, I think we await from Jack's Coastal Homes for our pick segment. And Austin Lane not here last couple of days because he's getting ready for a big fight on Sunday. UFC Fight Pass, the way to watch that one, go look it up. It's in Houston. It's for a belt. It's against Juan Adams. And this is a big deal for Austin. If he wins this fight, he's really on the fast track. It jumps him up a few ladder rungs to get to the UFC on a permanent basis. So big deal for Austin coming up in the fight world in the cage on Sunday there in Houston against Juan Adams. So obviously we wish Austin the best, and hopefully we're celebrating a win Sunday night into Monday when we come back to get Thanksgiving week going. All right, we've got Brandon Ponsel on the line right now from JacksCoastalHomes.com. And Brandon, hope you're doing well, man, ahead of Thanksgiving week and the holiday season. I'll ask you a real estate question. Tell me, this is the time it might slow down a little bit.
There's, in this current market, there is nothing going to slow down the market.
It's a freight train.
Inventory in terms of people thinking about listing. Sometimes you just want to wait until the holiday season gets through. So typically we'll see listings pick up. But if you put your market on, if you need to sell and you put it on the market today, you'll have more than enough offers within the first week.
How many people are you running into, seriously, that because we've all thought about it, that just like are selling their house and now going and living in an apartment or a condo or a hotel? Just to kind of think that they're waiting the market out, even though you've kind of said it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
You see a handful of folks. I know, people. A friend recently sold a large home in Ponte Vedra Beach at top dollar and downsized. But my take on real estate is it's one of the safest and best ways to grow wealth. So if you can afford it, put tenants into your house and buy something else if you want to upsize or downsize and keep that equity, because the properties in Jacksonville are not going to go backwards, and you can buy another property using the income that you would get from turning your current primary into an investment, putting tenants in there. So
yeah. That's a good. It's an interesting thing to wrap our head around too, right? Because we're like, holy cow, these prices are through the roof. Well, what you just said is welcome to like a lot of other cities where the prices are through the roof and going to stay through the roof, and so you don't really see it backtracking. And I think that's what a lot of people are banking on. They're like, hey, it's really high right now. It's going to come back down to earth, and then you go buy a house. But what you're saying is like the barometer is just going up.
Yes, and for our listeners who like to search and look at properties, jackscoastalhomes.com or whatever site they're using, and take a look at Nashville, Tennessee, Charlotte, North Carolina, Austin, Texas, and compare that to Jacksonville. It is night and day. Jacksonville is very, very, very affordable.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, we have some folks that we know that seriously, you look up the house value. They were moving. You looked up the house value. And it was X money. They put it on the market for like $60,000 over what the value said it would be, and they got $40,000 more in like a day and a half. I mean, it is crazy right now. And, of course, you in the real estate market know all about that. JacksCoastalHomes.com, the place to go for all your real estate needs and look into what Brandon Ponsel is talking about. All right, let's do some picks, man. Casey, get it going, baby.
All right, let's do it. Austin Lane. Still no picks. We'll work on that. Anyway, we're going back to the well. Some of the favorites, not Auburn, don't worry, Brandon, but Iowa State plus 3.5 at Oklahoma, minus 3.5. Brent, start us off.
Iowa State at Oklahoma. Oklahoma rebounds in a big way. I got burned by them last week. I'm going to take them, though. And they're not a very good football team. I think they've proven that. It was amazing they had that long of a win streak and how they were able to win some of those games in the stretch. But I'll take Oklahoma.
What you got, Brandon?
I'm with you, Brent. I think they rebound, laid somewhat of an egg last week. But they have some firepower when they get it rolling, and I think they do get it rolling tomorrow and put a number on Iowa State.
Iowa State is very good at winning the games they're not supposed to, and then thus losing the games they're supposed to. Not supposed to win this one, so I will take Iowa State. Brandon, Wake Forest makes its third straight appearance on the picks. They are plus 4.5 at Clemson, minus 4.5, who hasn't lost at home in forever, but is not very good.
Yeah, I'm gonna snag the 4.5 and take Wake Forest. They've been the better team all year. Clemson has not played well yet, so I'll take Wake Forest in the 4.5.
Yeah, you know what? I'm coming with you too, Brandon. I agree. It's a big game for Wake Forest, a couple different levels. First of all, you beat Clemson, right? I mean, I know Clemson's not Clemson, but to beat Clemson is big if you're Wake Forest. To continue this unbelievable season, and now for David Clawson, who might be his name's in the hat probably for other jobs. I think Virginia Tech has been rumored a little bit this week, and so this could be a huge win for him as well. So I think I'm going to definitely take the points, and I kind of like Wake Forest to pull off the win at Clemson, Casey.
Interesting. If it were 2.5 or 3, I wouldn't have done it. 4.5 seems like enough for me. I will take Wake as well and make it a clean sweep. This one I don't understand, which is why it gets on the picks, Brent. Oregon is ranked, and they are plus 3 at Utah, who is minus 3.
Yeah, this is one where you got to be careful to outsmart Vegas. And this is a little bit the Pac-12 being the Pac-12, where they beat each other up, and then the team that looks like they're going to make it all the way to the dance screws it up along the way. I'm like Utah here in a weird way. I'm coming with Vegas. Vegas has beaten me many a times. I like Utah, Brandon.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you're sneakily thinking in the back of your head, are those officials being told by the Pac-12 to swing it Oregon's way? Because they win this game in the Pac-12 title, they're in the playoffs. So the Pac-12 hasn't been in the playoff in a while. So I'm going to take Oregon to get the job done. They're the better team and might have the officials on their side.
I like that view.
Yeah, I like that as well. Quack, quack, give me the Ducks. We'll go to the NFL. Brandon, we'll start with you. The Saints are plus 2, and they will go to the Eagles, who we heard in the rejoiner. They are minus 2.
Yeah, Eagles have a little swag, a little momentum, and the Saints just have looked bad the last couple of weeks. Bad loss to the Falcons, who looked horrible last night. So I'm going to ride Jalen Hurts and the Eagles minus 2.
This is tough here. The Saints, by the way, will not have Alvin Kamara. He's killing my fantasy team right now, too. I think they're without both their tackles, if I saw that correctly. And the Eagles, I feel like we're getting super lucky with this schedule. I don't think they're that good. Like, I really don't. They were impressive last week. I'll give them that. I'm going to take the Saints anyway. Even though they're missing guys, I'm going to take Sean Payton to craft up a game plan that wins this wacky NFL in a weird way against the Eagles on Sunday.
I'm not. Fly, Eagles, fly, -2. Brent, I could have picked a lot of games here, but I decided to go with one that I don't know where either of you will go. So, Brent, tell me what's going to happen. The Washington football team, +3.5. The return of Riverboat Ron to Carolina. Also, the return of Cam Newton as the starting quarterback. The Panthers are -3.5.
You know, we were talking scoregami earlier in the show with a 25-0 win, even though that's happened 11 different times. And if you want to take two teams that have weird scores like week in, week out,
it's a good call.
Washington and Carolina are those teams. And because of that, I'm going to take the 3.5 points because weird scores usually means you get beat by like a half a point or you end up like 19-17 or something like that. So, Brandon, I'm taking Washington coming off that huge win over the Bucs to cover the 3.5.
I'm gonna take the Panthers. I don't really like this Washington football team. No Chase Young. Cam back at home. Crowd will be juiced up, and Christian McCaffrey's a difference maker for that team.
It's a good call. Yeah, it's going to be tough for the football team, and for some reason I already decided I was picking them, so give me the football team +3.5. We'll go
That's a good one to put on the board, by the way, Casey, because that's a tough pick.
Thank you. You know, it was between that and Cowboys-Chiefs, but I knew everyone was going to give – because the Cowboys are – or the Chiefs are favored, so Cowboys were getting 2.5, and I knew everyone was going to pick that, so I went away with it for the football team, Taylor Heineke and the boys. Brandon, you picked against the Jags for the first time. It didn't work out. That is unfortunate.
Wow.
But we'll give you a chance.
I'm going to put out a challenge to Mr. Lawrence. It's time for him to show the city of Jacksonville something. Mac Jones is playing so good. When is he going to step up and start playing good football? I think it's going to be this week. I think, Monday night, big win for the Niners coming across country. I think they'll be a little flat, and Jacksonville will cover the 6.5. I don't know that they'll win, but they'll cover the 6.5.
Yeah, I think it's a really hard game to call from a win perspective, but I love the 6.5. I mean, the Jags are playing better football, and like you said, they're coming across the country. Vegas really fell in love with that Monday night game, in my opinion, and so I love the 6.5 here. I don't know if I like the Jags. I don't think I like the Jags to win the game because they just haven't done enough on offense. But I think your message is kind of what everybody's shouting about. It's time for Trevor. Listen, I'm not concerned about Trevor, but it's time for Trevor to really show us something, I think. And it would be nice to happen this week going into the last 8 games of the year, Casey.
So just to be clear, you're picking the Jags?
Yeah. Easy.
Crap. All right. George Kittle scoring twice. Give me the 49ers. I can't pick the Jags if you guys are picking the Jags. So I will take the 49ers reluctantly, but I'll do it.
All right, that's your picks. We'll get Austin's in there as well in case we'll put them up on social media. Brandon Ponso, hope you have a great weekend, man. And I think we'll talk to you early next week. We'll try to connect, but we only have a couple of shows. Yeah. So if we don't, have a good Thanksgiving. We'll get the picks in either way.
You guys as well, and go Jags.
All right, man. Have a good one. That's Brandon Ponso, JacksCoastalHomes.com. Real estate market's fascinating to me right now. So go check JacksCoastalHomes.com out for all your real estate needs and maybe where your house sizes up here in the market. All right, let's take a break. We are at Extreme Wing Sports Grill, Roosevelt Boulevard, high school football night. We're going to talk a lot about that coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll talk a little more NFL, some college football look-aheads as well in the next few minutes on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz hanging out here on a Friday with you.
What's up? It's Casey. Check out the podcast Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 wherever you get your podcast to make sure you don't miss moments like this.
Word did you have a new nickname around this place?
Sure do, Brent. Because you know
how
do
you like it. Nicknames are good sometimes.
Yeah. Well, so you know, like how when it's your birthday coming up, which it's my birthday month or whatever, like they kind of give you a little heads up. And I appreciate all the work that they do and everything. But when they say November birthdays and it's Austin Lane and this must be Thanksgiving themed, AKA free range hot buns. you guys like that? Is that good for you?
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
Men, did you know that over half of all males suffer from ED or PE?
Ladies, your man should talk to the specialists at Prime Men's Medical Center.
If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down,
Men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
for a private consultation at Prime Men's Medical Center, call 904-664-8217.
See results on your first visit, guaranteed, or pay nothing.
Call 904-664-8217.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Smoke for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue. And it is at Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Open 7 days a week. Try the smoked wings, southern sides, and big old platters. Trivia night and kids eat free specials during the week. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all events. Order online and skip the line. Visit williejewells.com to see other locations in Florida and Georgia, Yulee to St. Augustine, Brunswick and Kingsland. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jewell's.
For 50 years, Taylor has been a leader in caring for the elderly. Providing quality, compassionate care has always been our mission. At Taylor Care Center and Taylor Manor, our recipe for success has always been our exceptional team. They work tirelessly to ensure that your family member gets the best care possible. When residents were not able to spend time with you and your family, our team stepped up to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and special occasions. Our dedicated staff is among the best in the business. Taylor Residents, providing safe, compassionate care every day.
From the biggest names in sports,
Justin Herbert, ladies and gentlemen,
to the stories that matter.
The New England Patriots want to play that way. They want to protect
and plenty of opinions.
It's simple. Justin Fields is better, but I'm willing to.
And it starts every morning with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, right here on ESPN Radio.
I will say that the great qualities of a coach is the ability to obviously compete, toughness, intelligence, leadership, but and adaptability. And we've adapted our defense to our personnel, and we've simplified things. The last 4 weeks are as good as really playing as well as anybody in the NFL right now. We see Tyson Campbell playing with great confidence. So there's the strategic part of it, there's noticeable differences, but just, I think, just mindset well.
Urban Meyer speaking with the media earlier today at the Jags facility. ESPN 690, Action Sports Jax, Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz. Got a whole lot more to do here. Not a lot of time before we hit this next break because we had to do those picks. Austin Lane will get those picks in at some point. We got a high school hour coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, football at 5. And I think this is really cool what Brent kind of started and has gone forward. I've enjoyed being a part of it, but this committed to the uncommitted has been pretty exciting. And now it does help that in my personal life, I guess you could say, I like prospects in baseball. That's always been something that's interested me. So just seeing how highlighting these kids, we don't know if it's helped, to be honest, but we're not going to take credit away from the athletes, obviously, but a lot of these kids that we have featured are now going to be on their way to college to play football, which is exciting for them, exciting for us that we got to at least feel like we helped. And we're going to highlight every single one of those kids that we've highlighted on the Blitz Scoreboard show, which is the last edition, will be tonight at 9. You can see it right here, or hear it and see it right here on ESPN 690, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter as well. We're going to highlight all of those kids coming up here in about 5 minutes. So stay with us. We're going to do that. Coach Sullivan will be along. Brent will be back, and we're going to get that all set for you, get you set for the weekend as well, and the high school football playoffs. So we're going to do that all. Couple minutes. We'll be right back here on ESPN 690. Get you set for football at 5.
Sick of big banks drawing money out of Jacksonville? Want your money to stay here and help local folks? At 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, all of our capital is invested back into Northeast Florida. This includes our all-new hometown credit card. You get all the rewards and perks of a big bank, and every swipe invests back in Jax. Get 2 points for every $1, up to 50,000 bonus points, 24/7 fraud protection, pay with points, and tons more. Support your community with a hometown credit card from 1-to-1 Financial. Apply at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA, a proud Visa partner.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pet's changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey folks, living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is your most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that's 13 times thicker than box store paint. It reflects 97% of harmful UV rays, has a Class A fire rating, is salt air corrosive resistant, contains the highest quality ceramics, and of course it comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a non-prorated 100% transferable warranty that guarantees against chipping, cracking, and peeling. So call 904-519-5055 or visit rhinoshieldjacks.com and protect your house and your budget.
So you'll never have the pain again. Call Rhino Shield today.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. Call Cordell & Cordell. You're not alone.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Jacksonville area attorneys. Offices in Jacksonville and by appointment only in Ponte Vedra Beach. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
At Napa, we keep things moving. If it has wheels and an engine, we help keep it on the road. And if it's on the road, we have parts for it. And if you need a part, you can get it fast, like same-day pickup or next-day delivery fast. At Napa, when we're not thinking about cars, we're thinking about the people who drive them. Because when it comes to serving you and our community, our motor never quits. That's Napa know-how. Same-day pickup and next-day delivery available at participating stores and on in-stock items only.
I love football, and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football, and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts. Jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jacks.
What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jacks. After you listen to us from 3 to 6 today, you can hear the Blitz Scoreboard Show with Brent Martineau and the Hall of Famer, Coach Kevin Sullivan, as they take you around the high school action in the area. That's from 9 to 10:25 on ESPN 690.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. After producing touchdowns on his first 2 plays returning to the Panthers, quarterback Cam Newton will start Sunday against Washington. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson back on the field today after missing 2 practice days with a non-COVID related illness. Jackson says he's ready to start against the Bears on Sunday. The Patriots kicked off Week 11 by shutting out the Falcons. Atlanta coach Arthur Smith.
We're going to continue to fight, and we're going to get out of this thing. And it's been obviously pretty the last 2 games haven't been good enough, but it's a long season. We got 7 games, and we're going to figure this out.
The Falcons are 4-6. Saints running back Alvin Kamara will miss his 2nd game in a row Sunday with a knee injury. The Saints play on the road against the Eagles. And the Eagles will sign tight end Dallas Goedert to a 4-year contract extension. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the deal is worth $59 million. Kevin Durant of the Nets will miss tonight's game against the Magic with a right shoulder sprain.
Step up your creativity now during Dell's Black Friday event with early access savings up to $300 off, including deals on the latest PCs with Intel Core processors, shop laptops, monitors, and more. Plus, free shipping. Call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Well, he's been coming on. First of all, I love the guy. He's got a little bit of a warrior, not little bit, he's a warrior mentality. I know it's not been perfect for him in his career. I asked him to do some things this summer to make the team. He did everything. He's a big physical receiver with great hands and a good, really good guy. I love him, and he's tough. Those are usually good qualities. Had a great week of practice this week, too.
That is Urban Meyer. I'm trying to guess on who he's talking about.
Yeah,
Talking about Treadwell?
Yep, still Treadwell. My fault. Meant to give you a heads up. A lot going on. But, yeah, that is our guy, Treadwell. The main topic of Urban Meyer's press conference today. Him and O'Shaughnessy. We'll get to some of that later.
All right, good deal. Hey, let's do something a little bit different. Football at 5. We talked a lot of Jags, talked a lot of NFL, college football all week, everything going into the weekend, and just did our picks. We got Austin's fight coming up on Sunday. There's a lot happening. But we have really had a lot of fun covering high school football. We do that each and every year. We do it a little bit different here on ESPN 690. Each year we evolve it. A couple years ago we did a game of the week. We broadcast a game, a different one each week. Last year, because of COVID, we started a new show called the Blitz Scoreboard Show, 9 to 10. And this year we expanded it to 10:30. We brought Kevin Sullivan, our Hall of Fame coach, into the fold from Jackson, Ed White, and Atlantic Coast days. And now he's sitting on a beach on his porch, and we wanted to keep him busy. And so that's what we do. And our favorite part of the show, I think, we love doing the show each and every week. We feel like we do the show different than anybody because, we have we have the analysis and we have the calls and the coaches call in. We do the scores, but we also show you action live with our cameras. It's the ability we have with our TV stations involved that really nobody else can do or has done or at least is willing to try. So we think it's pretty neat, and it's a little bit of a pat on the back, but it's really more like, hey, if you like high school football, you should check it out if you don't know about it yet. And tonight will be our final night of it. It's called the Blitz Scoreboard Show, 9 until 10:30. We do it on the radio. You can listen, of course, but we invite you on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Twitch to check out that part of it because that's where it's different, where you can see some of the action going on. And one of the things that we do is we highlight a kid that might not be getting recruited as much as he should be. It's called Committed to the Uncommitted, presented by Baker Sports. We also show video of them. In a little bit of their huddle tape, or maybe we have video from shooting their games over the years. And we started it this year, and thanks to Baker Sports for jumping on board, and Josh Baker. We really thought it was a cool concept and idea given the COVID and the pandemic and the way recruiting is right now. This 2022 class is the hardest it's ever been to get recruited. It really is. Transfer portals, COVID, logjam, extended eligibility, all those things added up. And I would argue that this is the hardest time to get recruited anyway in the history of college because there are more good athletes than there's ever been, I think. So it's a lot of different reasons. But anyway, that's how we started Committed to the Uncommitted. And here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690, really for the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to take a look at these kids, tell you a little bit more about them. And Kevin Sullivan's here to do that. Sully, I know you like this segment. I know you've helped us find some of these kids. I know you know about these kids. You've coached these kind of kids. Do you think it is? I mean, you don't have to agree with me here. Do you think this is the hardest it's ever been, like this class in particular? Maybe the 21 class included last year, but this class too, maybe the hardest it's ever been to find a home in college.
Yeah, I know. Hold on a minute.
Wait.
Hang on, you there?
You got to check out the wind chimes on your porch or something down there on the beach or what?
No, man. I don't know what's going on with my – here we go. You hear me?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I got you.
Yeah, well, not only that, Brent, the 22 kids, because last year was COVID and everybody got to keep a year, which if you played, you shouldn't have kept your eligibility year. But that's what the NCAA did in all the sports. But then this year also the transfer portals really, really, I think, changed recruiting in the high school a little bit more. Take like Florida State, for example. They've got 32 recruits going to come in that they're going to sign 32. They may sign 12 transfer portal kids. So that's 12 more spots that high school kids could be taken. But again, they're going to sign the college kids that have already been in college, maybe have already played or went somewhere, didn't work out, whatever. And they've had some success with that as well as a lot of the other colleges. But to me, that alone has changed the game of the high school recruiting. And now, so that filters from FBS to FCS, which to me is going to really help the D2s this year because I think the D2s are really going to get some high quality which could be D1 guys that now are going to end up playing D2 just because of the numbers, not because they're not good enough, just because of the numbers.
Yeah, I agree with you, too. And right now I should just reach out to Ashland University. Let's go get some of these guys. In fact, let's get it going with our Committed to the Uncommitted coach. And let's begin with a guy that's actually being recruited a little bit, has some interest from Wayne State, who used to play against Ashland University up there in the Midwest. They're out of Michigan. Thomas Moore as well as another interest, but no offers yet, and I don't know how, for a guy, Preston Strope out of Creekside. The kid has been a machine in his career. Over 1,200 yards rushing this year, 20 touchdowns this year. How about the career for Preston Strope, one of the best to ever do it as a Creekside Knight? Almost 4,000 yards and 45 touchdowns, Coach.
I know, it's crazy.
This is a grinder. This is like who everybody wants to coach. Like, this is the kid that everybody loves to coach, and he's not flashy, but he gets the job done. And there's a lot of programs out there that like this style of back, I think.
Yeah, and the thing about him, too, is he's playing in one of the tougher 8A classifications as far as his district. I mean, they're playing dudes every week, week in and week out, from the Bartrams to the Oakleaf kids, the Sandalwood kid. He's lining up and playing against good players week in and week out and putting up good numbers. Just tremendous athlete, great, got really good vision, good explosion, can run you over, can run away from you, catches the ball out of the backfield. Yeah, this one I was really surprised. Casey sent that doc to us today, and I had already gone down and looked, and I was really surprised that he hasn't had something come up. He might be one of those kids that in 2 years was a walk-on somewhere, and you're seeing him give him the scholarship, and heck, he's actually going to be playing in games on some FBS or FCS level.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that part, actually, the walk-on part of this, which everybody thinks, hey, you got to play in college, you got to get scholarship. Oh, listen, I was a walk-on. It was awesome. I loved every minute of it. Found a different way to get some academic money or other money. And is that available to kids? I mean, I think the baseball world only has like sometimes 5 to 7, maybe even 8 spots for walk-on, so it's limited even in the walk-ons. What's football like?
Yeah, I think football, they can only keep X amount of guys on, say, quote, scholarship. And then with the portal and guys leaving and kids transferring out, the NCAA has upped it this year. They're basically going to give them up to 7 transfers. So normally they could sign 25, but if they've had kids since the beginning of August have gone into the portal, they can recruit 7 of those kids. Now they can sign high school kids. They can sign transfer kids. So what'll happen now is some of these coaches will do it the smart way, and they'll be like, hey, here's a Preston Stroop kid. Hey, we've only got 3 scholarship running backs, and we're not going to take another one. Hey, let's offer this kid. He's a bright future scholarship kid. He's going to get a bunch of academic money. He's already been accepted to, say UCF. Say UCF. I'm just using an example. This is nobody at UCF has told me anything. I got to put that disclaimer in. But I'm just saying them example. So UCF says, hey, man, I like this kid. He's a character kid. He's a high motor kid. He's going to be great for our program. Let's offer him a preferred walk-on. And then he comes there and in a year or two takes care of business, and they put him on scholarship. And then we're saying, hey, there's another story of a walk-on that did. But I think this year you might see more of that preferred walk-on to some kids than we would have seen in the past, especially in some of the high need positions like quarterback, running back, quarterback, defensive back, linebacker type things.
Absolutely.
Places.
Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, Football at 5. We're talking about Committed to the Uncommitted, presented by Baker Sports, and really recognizing these kids. Preston Strope, congrats on an unbelievable career. He will play somewhere. Somebody's got to pick up the phone and call that young man because he is. You don't put 3,700 yards, 3,600 yards, 45 touchdowns up in your career if you can't play at the next level. Not in this football. Not around here. Football's too good around here. So he should be playing somewhere in college. All right, Casey, let's go to Tony Carter next as we try to rip through some of these guys. We got like 13 of them to get to. Tony Carter, and by the way, I want to let everybody know, we check on the grades on this, because sometimes you're not recruited because of grades. Well, the guys check out from the grade standpoint, too. So we're not even putting GPAs out there most of the time, but a lot of them at 3.5, 3.6, some over the 4. I mean, so grades are not an issue. If grades were an issue, we didn't include that player because we know that could be a stumbling block for some schools. Tony Carter, Mandarin, safety. This guy's a hard-hitting, old-school kind of guy. According to 24/7, Maryland and Grambling State on the radar, Western Kentucky and Western Carolina. How about 134 tackles, 13 tackles for loss? You're talking about old-school safety right here, Coach. I can play a couple different spots on defense.
Yeah, I loved him from the first time we saw him and we watched him play. He could be in the box and play the run. He could play back on the half. He could play what they're calling nickel corners now. I think he's really diverse and everything and really high-energy kid defensively that you're going to take him and he's going to play about 3 or 4 spots for you. But he's going to get on the field. He's going to compete and make everybody better back there in the back half. I really like him as a player. just a leader. You could tell him the way he leads on the field. Watching film, you could see him trying to communicate, making all the checks. I look for him to really, really go somewhere and find his niche and do well.
Yeah, and I think, by the way, he is someone that seemingly has picked up some steam during the course of the year, Coach. So I think, again, the radar, he might have landed a little bit later, and some of these guys are the same way, but the phone's starting to ring a little bit.
Yeah, and that's good for him. Again, I think it has to do with numbers games for him and, where people are going to project him or what they're going to do with him. But boy, the thing I like about him is he puts his nose in there, man. He's not afraid to put his nose on big backs, small backs. It doesn't matter. And then he can cover and he can run, and just going to be interesting to see where he ends up falling. It'd be good to follow him down the road here.
That's Tony Carter, by the way, 134 tackles this season, 13 tackles for loss and interception. He's a safety. Western Carolina, Western Kentucky, Maryland, Grambling State all could be in the mix. We'll see where Tony Carter lands. Signing day approaches, by the way, in December, the early signing day period in football. How about a guy that plays tonight, Casey? We'll go to Ben Bogle. Nice plays tonight. Ben Bogle on his way. He won't. If he's listening to this one, he's still on the bus. But they play in Niceville tonight in a big second-round playoff game. And Bogle strikes me as the heart and soul of their football team. We have Colin Drafts on like just about every week, and coach's dream kind of guy, right? And it runs in the family. It's in the blood. This guy is Nice through and through. Ben Bogle, man, he's a cool story.
Yeah, Ben has been everywhere. I mean, they bring him off the edge. They blitz him up the middle. He plays straight linebacker. He's a big, rangy kid that I like. He's like 6'2", 225, 230 pounds, runs downhill, just everywhere. And he seems like you said, he's like the motor to me on those guys. It seems like he's such a great leader. People always talk about really good high school football players or great high school football players. Great high school football players make everybody around him better. And I think he does this at Nice. I think he does this on the defense. And I think he does it overall with some of the younger guys there as being a true leader.
Hey, Coach, I think wasn't Bogle the story where he was playing defensive lineman last year?
Yeah.
And he was hurt a little bit, I think, his sophomore year. And so he comes on the radar late as a linebacker. Well, now the schools are calling. Gannon University up there in Pennsylvania, Limestone University, Lenore-Rhine is very good football, by the way. Wingate, Southern Illinois, Eastern Kentucky, Arkansas State. So you got some D1s, D2s in there. It's going to be a nice fit for a guy who was playing defensive tackle out of position last year. They move him now to linebacker where he should be playing. But I love the story of Ben Bogle. And this is committed to the uncommitted. Are guys that can get lost in the shuffle of COVID here in 2022 class. But then you have these kind of stories where he was just doing whatever was best for the team, and now he's playing the appropriate position his senior year. That's part of the reason people were late on him. But you can tell, I just ran down the list, the phone has really started to ring in October and November. All of those schools started to call Ben Bogle.
Yeah, and it's a great – and again, they're winning and they're doing some really good things. So, there's some good publicity for them all around. But Ben, to me, has been the mainstay, been in the program, like you said. So that's why he could do so many things, because he can play outside linebacker, get off the edge and rush the quarterback, because he was a defensive end last year. So he's already sort of got that skill set, even though he's off the ball a little bit and they bring him and run some games and twists with him and stuff. But, man, that kid's downhill running, and he loves playing too, man. You could tell that by watching him. He really loves playing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, by the way, good luck to Ben tonight. Good luck to the Nice Panthers tonight. What do you think tonight, Coach, about Nice against Niceville?
I think it's going to come down to them being able to control and stop that really solid offense. It's going to be their defense is going to have to win the game tonight. That's what I think. I think Nice's defense is really going to have to do a great job and win the game tonight.
Yeah, and we'll see if they're able to do it. Their Marcus Stokes, their offense has been very good this year, and they'll have to keep up on the scoreboard as well. We'll update you on that game coming up tonight in the Blitz Scoreboard Show, 9 o'clock, right here on ESPN 690 and all the social media platforms as well. Casey, let's go to Dylan Stubbs next. Young man out of Oakleaf, and he was just named first in second team defense Clay County in the last couple of years, too. That just came out, the first team Clay Counties. And Stubbs recognized what do we got here? Fort Valley State, it looks like in October. Florida Memorial as well reached out in October, according to Dylan. Stubbs is one of the talented players, but maybe the under-the-radar players, Coach, for Oakleaf and Frank Garris.
Yeah, and Dylan really has come on a little bit of late, especially through the last half of September and in through October. His plays increased. They've been using him a little bit more. I think they had some injuries. He's played a little wide out, but he can return kicks and punts. Really athletic kid, can play man, can play zone. He's just one of those kids that sort of has come out of nowhere on that Oakleaf team after them graduating a bunch of kids last year being real young over there. And he had to be one of those senior leaders back there in the secondary for them.
This guy, like you just said, he's a tremendous athlete. I think you get first team as an athlete, second team as a linebacker.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Where do you see linebackers in high school? Do you think they usually stay at linebacker, or do they potentially have the versatility to get to the safety position at the collegiate level?
Yeah, I think that the linebackers, depending on how big and how their frame is, like Grayson Howard, for example, 6'4", 220, 215, he may end up being an outside linebacker, strong safety type because he runs so well. He's long, lanky, and down. I think it just depends on the scheme. And that's the job of the colleges to find out where they can take these guys and fit them. That's why, like a guy like Stubbs, who could play corner, who could play safety, and is long enough that he could probably play a little bit of outside linebacker in some sets, can play the nickel corner too. I think those guys are guys that they've got to find to be able to fit in their program and what they do. You can't say, oh, well, Dylan Stubbs, he's only a corner. Well, we're not going to take that many corners, but here's a guy that can play a bunch of spots. And I think that's what his sort of jack-all trade in the secondary, that's what really helps him.
Well, Dylan Stubbs has been fun to watch, fun to follow, and he's got a couple looks now. Hopefully get a few more heading into this offseason after he had a big-time senior year for the Oakleaf Knights. Hey, let's go to the position that doesn't come with stats, and we go Chase Cruz, the offensive lineman from Baker County. They're rough and tough and still playing football out there in McClenny, Coach, and it looks like people are starting to get the Chase Cruz name. Gannon University, Allen University came on board late October, Wingate University early October, Albright College and Stetson as well, even showing some interest. Chase Cruz, I remember Coach Mays, Kevin Mays, coming on and talking about Cruz and said, this guy has the potential to be a stud at the next level.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, when you watch his film, you want to have you a big thing of pancake and syrup, because he is taking dudes to the ground, man. He's physical at the point of attack. He can pass block, he can run block, but I like the nastiness that he portrays getting off the ball. 6'3", 290. I think he's going to end up going somewhere and probably end up stepping in and playing, maybe be a 3-year starter, whatever school gets him. But I really like him. I watched his film. We talked to Coach Mays. I talked to the D coordinator, Brock Cannaday, and they can't say enough good things about him. But I just like the nastiness where he finishes and tries to really bury people and pancake people.
Well, and I think Coach said, if I'm remembering our conversation, I think he said he's got a frame that will probably fill out to like 320.
Yeah, and he moves. That's the thing. That's the thing that I love about it, man. He just moves and he loves playing, and they always have one really solid lineman out there at Baker County. One big old, as we would say, big old country fed young man out there, and and Chase comes in a long line of really good football players there.
Yeah, Chase Cruz, offensive lineman from Baker County, big dude, really playing well, and let's get him to college somewhere. Committed to the Uncommitted, presented by Baker Sports. We do it each and every week on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. We're highlighting the folks that we highlighted all year long and giving you some updates on their colleges and what they have offers from. And as you can see, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, 3.6 GPA, 6'3", 290 for Chase, and he's got offers from Gannon, Wingate, and more, and maybe more to come as they continue to playoff run. You like Baker County tonight, Coach?
Yeah, I like Baker County tonight. They'll have their hands full. West Florida's a real solid football team, but I like them being at home. I like the way Noah Ray's playing in the secondary. Jamal Jones has 9 interceptions, I want to say, in the secondary. And then one of their other guys has 5. So that's 13 amongst 2 guys. That's pretty solid work in the back half. And West Florida's come in and slinging it around. So I really like them. I really like Baker tonight.
All right. Let's take a break, Casey. We got Rick. Let's get to Rick real quick. We'll take a break. Coach, grab a Coke during the break. And we'll be back. We'll highlight some more of our Committed to the Uncommitted. I really wasn't going with Coke, except I almost said Coach, so I figured I'd just end it with Coke. Just a broadcasting thing, I guess. Let's bring in Captain Rick Riles right now, Florida Sportsman Fishing Report. What's up, Captain Rick? Happy Friday.
Brandon, I'm starting to think you ought to consider a career in broadcasting. You just step seamlessly from segment to segment. It's unbelievable.
Well, not only that, hey, Captain Rick, I really know how to fix a mess up. It means it happens a lot. A lot of practice.
There you go. You need to learn that if you're a husband, too. You got to be able to fix it.
You got to practice at that, too. 20 years at both.
Let's talk fishing. Hey, it was much better than I expected today. Now, of course, the ocean was closed. We've got a brutal northeaster is flowing at about 18 knots at my dock right now. But Captain David Voorhees made it work for him in the Intercoastal. I believe after, almost 50 years of fishing here, almost 60 years of fishing here, this is the latest I've ever seen a tarpon caught in the Intercoastal. But I'll be darned if he didn't catch one today. Also had a limit of redfish to go with them. Said the wind was brutal all day, but they were able to fight through it. I don't see much change for the next few days. I think we're going to have too much wind to get offshore. It is going to be an inshore bite, but David said get back in a creek, get out of the wind, and find a deep hole, and there are plenty of redfish in it. So that may be a plan attack for the guys that will be fishing this weekend, but you can count on one thing. We'll be back on Monday to bring you another fishing report brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing and CSS Landscaping. They are paying top dollar for top landscapers at CSS. Thank you, Brent.
Have a good weekend, Captain Rick, and make sure you listen
too, buddy.
Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. on ESPN 690 for more of Captain Rick and Fishing Talk coming up Saturday morning, each and every Saturday morning, and each and every day on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. All right, we got a lot more to get to here. Committed to the Uncommitted, presented by Baker Sports, a special hour of it. Let's highlight some more of the kids and what they're doing now. How good were their seasons? Do they have some offers? Let's get back into it. Live from Extreme Wing Sports Grill, Roosevelt Boulevard, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. We come back right after this.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy skies, a little breezy tonight, so cool as temperatures drop into the 50s. Windy for Saturday, a mix of clouds and sun tomorrow, with a brief sprinkle or light shower and highs in the 60s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now you can save up to 41% off during Beard's anniversary sale.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In the mid-90s, I bought a piece of land in Austin with a credit card check and built the very first micro distillery in the history of the state of Texas. I'd never built a still before, so I did some research and designed and built my own pot stills based on Prohibition-era bust photos I found in the library. I didn't know then that this was kind of the start of the American craft distilling movement, right here in Austin, Texas. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey folks, living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is your most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that's 13 times thicker than box store paint. It reflects 97% of harmful UV rays, has a Class A fire rating, is salt air corrosive resistant, contains the highest quality ceramics, and of course it comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a non-prorated 100% transferable warranty that guarantees against chipping, cracking, and peeling. So call 904-519-5055 or visit rhinoshieldjacks.com and protect your house and your budget.
So you'll never have to paint again. Call Rhino Shield today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-530-9353. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-530-9353. That's 800-530-9353. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-333-1750. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
If you're getting engaged, celebrating an anniversary, birthday, or shopping early for the holidays, you do not want to miss Beards Diamond's incredible 41st anniversary sale.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to an unbelievable 41% off.
Yes, 41% off.
It's Beards Diamond's incredible anniversary sale, going on now until November 30th.
All GIA certified loose diamonds, all designer settings, pendants, bracelets, earrings, engagement rings.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to 41% off.
Believe it.
For over 4 decades, families have been shopping at Beards Diamonds for the absolute lowest prices.
Now to say thank you, everything in the store is discounted up to 41% off.
Nobody beats Beards Diamonds prices.
If you're popping the question soon, celebrating a big anniversary, or even shopping early for the holidays,
now you can go even bigger and save thousands.
Everything store-wide is on sale up to 41% off.
Beards Diamonds will never be beat on price.
At the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Welcome back, everybody. Extreme Wing Sports Grill. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and Kevin Sullivan, our Hall of Fame coach, as we talk some high school football. Big night coming up. Blitz Scoreboard Show, 9 o'clock, 10:30. We'll have our Friday Night Blitz, final edition of both for this year. And then 11:20, we'll do a quick edition of the Blitz, CBS 47, Fox 30. Of course, we've still got plenty to go in the high school ranks. We will continue to follow the teams. We just don't do the half hours and the longer shows because a lot of the teams fall off. We don't have as many to cover, but we will cover the teams that are still alive. We'll also have, we're working on some things. We have our annual Blitzies Award Show, which I think is going to be Christmas Day this year. We're going to do it on Christmas night. And we're working on something else. I don't want to say it just yet, but we're working on something else we're going to try maybe for the first time ever. That will take place in the middle of December. So stay posted on that. You know where to find us, ESPN 690, CBS 47, and Fox 30. All right, let's jump right back into it, Coach. And highlight some of our Committed to the Uncommitted presented by Baker Sports that we've done each and every week. We've got some really good candidates, and let's begin, Casey, if we can, with, let me find Brandon Peavy, the tight end from Clay. And this is a cool story, too. This is a guy, basically, they said, hey, look, you can play tight end. Hasn't played a lot of football. And Peavy jumps in the fold. Nobody really knows about him. And now he looks like he could really be a good tight end at the next level. But he is raw, and this is kind of what happens in the tight end position. You go from the basketball court to the tight end room, and now we get all pros that do that, Coach, at the NFL level.
Yep. Yeah, and Peavy's really had a really good year considering he's been playing basically since last spring, working out with him and playing with him last spring all summer. Big, long range. He's 6'3", 210, catches the ball pretty well with his hands. And so he may be one of those guys that it might be better for him to go maybe JUCO, maybe a prep school route for another year, put a little bit of weight on, get a little bit more polished at the position. But he can do a lot of really positive things, really athletic, big man.
When guys transitioning and coming on late, what's the biggest challenge?
Well, but probably getting his name out, because if he wasn't really on too many people's lists, I'm sure Coach probably said, hey, we got this raw kid, keep an eye on him in the spring, coming out. What the challenge is you don't know what he can do, and, not a lot of people play true tight end, so he's got to be an H-back, so we want to be able to move him. He's athletic. He could go out and be the single wide out. So I think he's just got to refine his skill and get out in front of as many people as possible. That's why maybe a JUCO to get a little bit more football playing time, maybe a prep school for another year, just to make sure he gets more publicity, more reps, more playing at that position, because that's a unique position, that tight end H-back. That's not one of the easiest places to play.
Yeah, I was going to say what's interesting in high school is the tight end isn't used like it is in the college game and the NFL game. Like it's just not utilized like, doesn't feel like it. Maybe just because, a lot of times because they're probably playing other positions are usually big. So sometimes they're stuck on the offensive line, or you're trying to move them at like that H-back spot like you're saying. So Brandon Peavy, tight end, he's a late bloomer guy in terms of football because he's a basketball guy transitioning to the game, but he's a tight end and he's very capable. Second team All-County, that just got named yesterday. Augusta United Graduate Academy, is that a prep school, Coach?
Yeah, that's a prep school, and there's a couple of them. They've got that new one out here in Jacksonville down there in Clay County. They've started Jacksonville Academy, Athletic Academy.
That's right. I saw that too.
It might not be him bad to do that for a year just to sort of refine his tools and become a more well-rounded football player.
Yeah, Weber International looks to be in on him as well. All right, let's keep rolling. A couple of players that you're familiar with, a couple of schools you're familiar with, your old school. You coached, you were the AD recently there. Caleb Francis from Jackson, defensive back, wide receiver. This guy had 274 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. He was 81 tackles, 4 interceptions, a fumble recovery, according to the stats that we found. Gannon University, University of West Florida, both in the mix on him. Tell us a little bit more about Caleb Francis, Coach.
Yeah, Caleb's one of those kids, man. He's one of those guys. He'll do whatever you want. And then he turned around and he punted, and he averaged like 44-5 a punt, I want to believe. Averaged over 40-something yards a punt. That I definitely know. But he's real athletic. Can play corner, can play safety, played in the slot, played at wide out. Really good team leader, sort of one of those guys when we had Coach Foy on and we had talking about Caleb. He's our kind of guy. OKG is what he calls him. OKG, our kind of guy. That means he's going to live in the weight room. He's going to do what's happened. He's a team player, and he's going to end up finding somewhere and really having a good, solid career.
Where is he more of a defender at the next level?
He's probably more of a corner at the next level. They played him at both. They played him at safety and corner, and out of necessity, a couple guys got hurt, and he had to jump over and play wide out. But I'll tell you what, he really can catch the football. Really is real smooth running routes and everything. So it'll just be one of those things where, we always used to take our really good wide outs that were, 5'11", 6 foot, and make them DBs because they already had ball skills. And then we just used to work on him a little bit. And that's what Caleb's going to be. I believe he'll end up being a corner on the next level at a really good, solid program.
All right, let's keep moving on. Another former stomping ground of yours, Atlantic Coast. Jaheim Odom, defensive back, came up with some big plays this year. Guy Gannon likes to recruit this area.
Well, the funny story with Gannon, little backstory on that. The guy that recruits Jacksonville played for me at Atlantic Coast, was our all Gateway Conference center that ended up Blake Stone is his name.
Okay.
And so Blake's real
Blake
familiar.
Stone,
yeah. So he played center for us, went to Charleston Southern, then ended up finishing down at Florida Tech. was all conference for 2 years at Florida Tech in D2, and so he's coaching the O-line at Gannon. So he's been real heavy down here, and he's on our show, so he's listening on Friday, so he's picking up these committed to the uncommitted guys, and he's jumping on them because I guess he figures if old coach knows what he's talking about, they got to be able to play a little bit.
So he'll
actually
smart, man.
Yeah, and it is smart because his ties to the area and being around this area and knowing some of the coaches and, of course, playing here, he knows what Jacksonville offers. And so they had recruited, I believe he told me they signed 6 kids from Florida last year, and all 6 played a significant role in them going from 2-9 to 6-5 this year.
Absolutely.
So, I'm sorry, 5-6. But
okay.
So the head coach said, let's go get some more of those guys. So he's down here trying to get as many as he can.
Absolutely. Listen, there's good football all over the place. They're in Western PA, so there's really good football in Western PA. But they played in Ashland's conference when I was there. Gannon did. They weren't too far away from us. But for schools like Gannon and Ashland and those kind of places, I mean, to come get some guys from the South and they're looking and they could really get some talent, especially in this kind of year and with COVID and guys that are getting overlooked and under-recruited. I mean, as long as those kids are willing to make the travel and go up north and play in the cold a little bit, play in the Midwest, I mean, heck, it could be great steals for teams like Gannon and schools like that. So 92 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, a block punt. And again, Gannon amongst several offers for Jaheim Odom. He's a good football player and obviously a big part of what Mike Montemayor was doing at Atlantic Coast.
Yeah, and he's got some, like Campbell offered him in the spring. Weber and Warner both have offered him, so he's got some. But I think, when we talked to Coach Montemayor about him, he said, man, he'll play special teams. He'll do whatever you ask him to do. Remember, he missed a couple games with an injury in the middle of the year, I think 3 games. So these stats are only on 8 games on the year. So that's pretty exciting. And then he had the big interception at the end of the University Christian game. Week 11 to give them the win. So really good football player. I've liked him a lot since I watched him as a junior a year ago.
All right, let's talk about a couple other guys before we hit our last break. And how about Alvin Gibson from Riverside? They got a big game tonight. Before we talk about Alvin, how about the game? You like Riverside's chances?
Yeah, I do like their chances. I think they've been well focused since they lost a few weeks ago to Columbia. They came back and pretty much manhandled them last week, which we figured they were going to do that. And even though they've got to go on the road, they just got so many weapons and so many things, and Alvin being one of them, not getting a lot of publicity. They're 10-1. He's a mainstay in what they're doing. I think probably his biggest issue is probably his height. But again, at running back, somebody's going to take a chance on the kid. He's got real good vision. He's got really good power, and really like the kid. But yeah, I like Riverside tonight, getting a big win over there in the Panhandle.
Yeah. By the way, just got a text about Alvin Gibson, who doesn't look to be playing the Twitter game. By the way, and
I like him even more.
Yeah. Well, good. You know what? It's for a different day, but I don't know if the Twitter game works for the kids, putting highlights on or not. But you find information out quicker, and
Yes.
you can link to the highlights on Huddle, and, I think it does work a little bit in the football world and probably some other sports. Like, we live in the baseball, softball world, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? You went 3 for 4. You know how many other kids across the country went 3 for 4? It's like,
right.
It's like if you were a QB just putting up your stats, it said you went 18 for 22. Right. That's not going to wow a college coach. But if you show them a rifle throw, that will get to them now.
Right. I hate to tell all these parents that post all their stats that college coaches could care less about stats.
They could care less. It's what it looks like, right? I mean,
right. And
almost like
the parents sending the kids' highlight film out, they don't even get looked at 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally
because
agree
they tag a bunch of coaches in there and they send it out. Now, if Kevin Sullivan sent that highlight film out, which I have done with a lot of guys, kids that have tagged me in their highlights, I sent it to a bunch of guys, or I put it on my page. There's guys that will call me on different kids in the area because I've been around so long. But
absolutely,
just the parents sending out the kids' highlight 9 out of 10 times, that never even gets opened.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think it's a little false sense of what's going on in terms of reality in some of the kids. But if you get it to the coaches and they get it, I agree with you. And by the way, it's fun to put stuff out there on Twitter. I just hope that people don't fall in love with, hey, oh, wow, somebody liked it or whatever. That's not the only way. But we know this, right? I mean, this is why we're doing this segment. Twitter can be a vehicle to some. We just talked about it in the last 7 or 8 minutes. Why? Because you're saying it. Not because the kid's saying it or the parent's saying it, but really like someone like you is saying it. All right, so let's talk about Alvin Gibson. I love this guy. I've watched a lot of Riverside games this year. I think he's really good. Someone texted me, West Florida, EWU, Edward Waters in town, and Southeastern University in the mix. No offers yet for Alvin Gibson. You said it. Height might be a problem, but man, heart, and this guy can play, and this guy's productive, and it's one of the best teams in the area he's productive for.
Yeah, and again, they played quality competition week in and week out for the most part. You know what I mean? So he's getting ready to go over 1,000 yards tonight, and they played some quality people. And so tonight over there in the Panhandle, I guarantee you West Florida's at that game tonight. You know, I guarantee you they're going to watch that kid tonight and a couple of those other kids on that Riverside team. And that's when you show it. That's the one advantage of getting in the playoffs, Brent, that we probably haven't harped on enough, is you got more college coaches and there aren't as many games out. So we've got 3 teams in the Panhandle and all those Alabama fringe schools, the FCSs in Alabama and Louisiana and over there can get to those games. It's a lot easier for them to get in the playoffs where their seasons are winding down. Some of them aren't playing on like Louisville played last night. I'm sure they're out everywhere tonight. That's one advantage of playing on Thursday night in college is being able to get out and get on the road on a Friday. But now in the playoffs, there's not as many kids playing, so you could focus in on a little bit more.
Yeah, and usually there's competition because it's better competition. And if you can play big in a big game, that's going to put an extra star next to your name too. All right, yes. and Noah Ray will have that chance for Baker County tonight. Let's end with him, and then we got to hit a break and finish this thing up. But we got like 4 more to get to. Noah Ray, he's been outstanding for Baker County, but I think this time of year could really elevate his status. Exactly what you were just saying.
Yeah, and again, he's been real solid the whole year. I mean, he can run it, he can throw it, doesn't have a lot of turnovers. He's got 3 interceptions on the year. I don't believe he's fumbled the ball as the quarterback on the year. And he's really upped his game as he's gotten so much more comfortable with what they're asking him to do. And, they got a really good chance tonight. Boy, I'd love to see that in a week from now, the Baker Reigns game over there. We might have to venture to that one. Might have to come out and get out of off the deck on Thanksgiving weekend and head to that one if that comes out. Again, we got a potential, and I know we're getting ahead, but we got a potential to have like 2 or 3 of those games just our area teams playing next week.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk more about that tonight in the Blitz Scoreboard Show at 9 o'clock. Noah Ray, Baker County. By the way, Coach, student body president, does that kind of stuff help?
I think it helps because leadership, that means his peers, he's elected by his peers. And I think that really helps. And I think he's pretty proud of that from what I read about him and what Coach May said about the kid. I think he's pretty proud of that. He's not just an athlete, you know what I mean? He's involved in the community, he's involved in his school, and he cares and really like him. Really, they say I still don't understand the QBR, but his is 100.8, so I guess it's pretty good.
I don't know who's doing that, but it's pretty good. And by the way, he's a winner because you play at Baker County and you win. And
yes,
so
sir.
You got to be – and that's one of the jobs of that quarterback is to keep that winning tradition alive. And there's some pressure to do that out there in Baker County. All right, we got a few more to get to. Let's take a break. We're live at Extreme Wing Sports Grill. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, Casey Kurtz, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. A little special hour here on really one of the biggest nights of high school football with Week 2 of the postseason about to happen. And we're highlighting some of the kids on our Committed to the Uncommitted presented by Baker Sports that we've told you about all year long. What's the college offers look like? How did they do this season? We got 3 more to get to, and then we got to go because we got to go to some high school football games. We'll be back from Extreme Wing Sports Grill on ESPN 690 right after this.
Know what time it is? It's time to get moving. Cora Physical Therapy has opened a new state-of-the-art clinic in Kingsland on Boone and Haddock, and will be opening another one soon in Brunswick. With Cora, you have access to licensed, passionate clinicians, only the most innovative equipment, and life-changing therapies. Cora is all about treating everyone right now. It's your move. Visit CoraPhysicalTherapy.com for a free screening. No physician's referral required. Same-day appointments available.
I love football and I love chicken wings. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Mortno. We are a lot alike, right? You love football and you love wings. Let's win the week with Extreme Wings Sports Grill. 4 locations in Jacksonville, Atlantic Boulevard, Ocean Way, 210 in St. Johns County, and the new location on Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax, serving up the freshest, never frozen, world-famous extreme hot wings to Jacksonville since 1999. We like football. We like wings. We love a good deal. To celebrate the grand opening of the Extreme Wings Roosevelt location, get 6 wings, french fries, and a drink for just $12.99 at the Roosevelt location. 6 wings, french fries, and a drink, just $12.99. Active military gets special discounts: jalapeno ranch, Caribbean jerk, spicy blue cheese, lemon pepper. So many flavors to choose from. And, of course, they can make them extreme if you want. Plenty of space at Extreme Wing Sports Grill locations. If you're looking for a place for the entire team, try Extreme Wing Sports Grill. I love it. You'll love it. 4 locations in Jacksonville, including Roosevelt Boulevard near NAS Jax.
Look, boss, there's another Safe Touch house.
Just play it cool. Drive on by.
Word on the street is these new Safe Touch security video cameras are really pinching the burglary business.
Yeah? How so?
Well, the cameras are integrated with the Safe Touch app, right? So the homeowner gets notified when someone even gets close to the house.
So that protects the entire property then?
Exactly. Driveway burglaries are a thing of the past now with these Safe Touch cameras.
Driveway break-ins. The low-hanging fruit of the burglary biz.
Yup. Boss, I heard someone even got busted for letting their dog poop in someone's yard.
Ha! Caught in the act with a Safe Touch security camera. Priceless.
Yeah, it keeps our job pretty simple. See a Safe Touch sign? Just drive on by.
Now, for a limited time, the Safe Touch Advantage plan includes free equipment and installation for new customers with an Advantage monitoring agreement. The Safe Touch doorbell camera, a $200 value, can be added for just $99. Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-530-9353. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-530-9353. That's 800-530-9353. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We are here for Magda, a Holocaust survivor.
Things become harder with age.
We are here for Sharonda, who needed parenting support.
I cried out to her. She listened to me.
And we're here for Ashley, who needed to heal.
She helped me feel like I didn't have to be scared.
Jewish Family and Community Services is here for seniors with food, financial assistance, and counseling. JFCS is here for Jax. Visit jfcsjax.org.
Looking for a great career that can take you places? The Jacksonville Transportation Authority offers miles of opportunity, and the JTA is now hiring bus operators. We offer competitive pay and benefits with a starting wage of $16.43 per hour. We're offering hiring bonuses from $10,000 to $15,000. CDL training is available, and JTA will pay for relocation to Florida. And the Sunshine State has no income tax, so your paycheck goes further. Stop looking for a job. Get yourself a new career with the JTA.
Meet Bob Minetti. In 2016, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Bob participated in a clinical trial that included cutting-edge radiation therapy and surgery. He's been in remission since completion. I'm Keisha Sharp. Since losing my mother to pancreatic cancer, I've been working to share the kind of state-of-the-art work being done by Stand Up to Cancer and Lustgarten Foundation. To learn more about the latest research, including clinical trials, visit pancreaticcancercollective.org.
So there's this guy, and he's talking to the camera, visibly upset. He's wearing a button-up shirt with red and white blue popsicles, but don't get distracted by that. The video is about what he's holding. It's a neck pillow, a travel pillow, the thing that looks like a toilet seat, right? And he holds it up and he says that he's in his 30s and never knew how to wear one. And then he's like, this goes in the front. We've all been wearing them wrong because when the big part is in the front, you can sleep sitting up. It makes so much sense. It honestly blew my mind. You have to see it. TikTok.
Hi, welcome back. Extreme Wing Sports Grill here on a Friday. We are up against it, but this has been a cool hour highlighting our Committed to the Uncommitted segment presented by Baker Sports. We've done it each and every Friday on the Blitz Scoreboard Show all year, and we're putting a bow on it here over this last hour of Football at 5 on ESPN 690 live from Extreme Wing Sports Grill. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, Casey Kurtz, and credit to Casey for digging up a lot of information and really making this segment roll all year on Fridays, and today by updating some of it as well. We appreciate the coaches. We really hope this becomes a thing, and as I've mentioned, we might try to continue this even throughout other sports and throughout the year. We do appreciate Baker Sports, Josh Baker, for his support of this new endeavor that we tried, and we really think it's a lot of fun, and it's working. It's getting the kids a little bit of exposure. Thanks to Kevin Sullivan and his contacts as well. So let's keep it rocking and rolling. One of the best backs and most fun players to watch in the area, Coach, Tavio Taller from Providence. He only played 8 games this year, but he put up some ridiculous numbers. This is a guy that should play at the next level, can play at the next level, will help a football team out, and there's a lot of entertainment value to him as well. We have Sully still on there, Casey? Okay. Not 100%. That's all right. I don't need Coach I've seen Tavio play enough. So here's the deal. Here's some of the stats. 136 attempts, over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, 8.2 yards a carry. How about that? Receiving-wise, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, and all those numbers in about 8 games. So, Sully, this guy's a lot of fun to watch. He's exciting.
Yeah, I think he's got a chance to go again. He coming off injuries the last 2 years, had a really good early on season where his name really got out there and jumped. But he can play, he can catch the ball, he can run the ball. And again, one of those places that he's just got to find the right fit for him to get involved in a high-powered offense that spreads it out, throws it to a lot of different people. And I think he'll find him a nice little small place to play and do very well.
Yeah, and it's kind of like fit, right?
Yep.
You mentioned about Alvin Gibson from Riverside. He's on the smaller side from a height standpoint. Listen, we got a special place in our heart for those kids. I got those at home. So, but you can play, and that's the story. I mean, just watch the tape of this guy, and I watched Providence play a couple of times. Man, he's a highlight waiting to happen.
Yeah, and again, he's hard-nosed. He's been a little bit injury-prone, so that might be a red flag right now. But I think he'll find him a place to play. And, yeah, he's real exciting to watch. I really like watching him run.
All right, how about this guy here? Baylor Newsome, Bishop Kenny, running back, linebacker, and from a rushing standpoint has a handful of touchdowns. I think he's going to play the linebacker position on defense at the next level. 123 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Really came on big late, had some big moments in the last month of the season. This guy's just a hard-nosed football player, the way you like it from the linebacker position.
Yeah, and it seemed that he played his best games against the better competition on their schedule. That's when he really sort of took over. He's a really good leader. He's been in that program all 4 years, come from a little scrawny 6 foot, 120-pound freshman to this 6 foot 2.5, 220-pound kid that can run downhill, played running back, short yardage running back. Caught the ball out of the backfield, but on defense, interceptions, return for touchdown, fumbles, return for touchdown, block punts, been all over the field for them to lead to their resurgent this year, getting it back to the playoffs. Newsome,
yeah, we're going to have Casey jump in on Baylor in a moment, but Southern Louisiana University in November, Stetson back in October, Gannon was in on him in the summer, Valpo and Navy even seem like he'll have a spot to play somewhere. Just got to make a decision and find the fit. Casey, what do you have on Baylor Newsome?
Yeah, good tease right there, even though I didn't tell you what I was going to say. Born in Valpo. Don't know anything if he's, considering Valpo. I know he's got an offer there, but my guy, you might want to consider Valpo. It's a lovely place. It gets kind of cold, small school, but just the fact that I saw Valpo offered him when I was doing some research, I thought that was pretty cool because nobody really knows where Valpo is, so I'm with it.
I like it, Valpo. We know Valpo. We all remember the 3. That's what we remember out of Valpo. Trey Rose, Fletcher, wide receiver. I met this young man a couple of times now at the show, Jags Report Live, out at the beach at Sneakers. And this kid's a good player. We talked about him last week, Coach. He was our most recent committed to the uncommitted. He can run. He's athletic. He's got a little pedigree. I mean, you can tell he's got some size in his family. But they run the football a lot at Fletcher, and so sometimes the receivers get lost.
Yeah, that's one of those kids that is sort of the diamond in the rough because he is athletic. He'd jump out of the gym. If you watch any of the film that he had, he was out there with working at the throwing facility, and he was catching balls from Gardner Minshew before they got rid of Gardner this summer. But he can jump. He can run. Got a little nasty streak to him. And, again, that's a coach's job is to find that diamond in the rough and continue to develop him. I think he could play some H-back tight end and what some of the schemes going on right now, but really can catch the ball.
That's Trey Rose from Fletcher. He's a good player. I think he'll find a home. I mean, West Florida starting to, I think, had a little interest, and maybe he has it in them. He's been real aggressive as of late. I mean, sometimes that's what I think a lot of folk don't know, coaches. We put a bow on this show in this segment, is that you've got to be the aggressor now, right? You can't sit back and wait for everybody to call. And listen, my kids are sophomores. If they want to play baseball and softball at the next level, don't sit here and rely on people to call you. Especially, there's so much competition. Send the emails out, make the contacts, go to the camps, show the video. I'm not necessarily sure Twitter's enough, okay? So don't live just on Twitter. But you got to do those things. You got to sell yourself a little bit.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you just got to go, especially, and you got to understand recruiting calendar too. You know, like September is not the time to be sending film to coaches. They don't care. Middle of October into November, that's probably when it really starts cranking up, especially for some of the FCS and the D2 guys.
All right. And by the way, you've come a long way in your broadcasting over the fall because you didn't mention maybe the place and free advertising for some of the other competition there.
Hey, I did good. I got better, didn't I?
Yeah,
I learned that.
That was impressive. All right, man, go have some dinner. We'll see you tonight on the Blitz Scoreboard Show. It's the last one, playoff edition. We've got some really good games around the area. We'll see how many teams survive. Thanks for jumping in for the hour, Coach.
Okay, we'll see you in a little while.
All right, that's Committed to the Uncommitted. Casey, nice work today all week, but especially on that segment. It was great to bring those guys back. Committed to the Uncommitted, presented by Baker Sports. We appreciate Josh and Baker Sports support. We got to run up against it late, but we'll be back. 9 o'clock Blitz Scoreboard Show. Friday Night Blitz, 10:30 on Fox 30. It's a high school Friday night. We're live from Extreme Wing Sports Grill. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Nights of Lights dazzles with more than 3 million